And I want to play our intro theme. So I'll leave these up for a moment. Maybe it's a good spot to put in a stream marker so I can introduce everything. Hello, Wastelanders! My name is Kyle, and you are joining us for episode 4 of our TTRPG in the Fallout universe. Up on the screen right now, you see our 3-player characters zipping past you. We've got Sam the Ranger, played by Skylar. We've got Raven, the tribal Mothman cultist, played by Mac Ravenblood. And we've got Jim, the tech specialist survivor, played by Official Dark Knight. Welcome aboard, comrades. Good to have you tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Let's get into a little just chatting scene here. And since we are 8 o'clock now, I will go ahead and just do a little bit of last week's recap. So you guys can feel free to chime in here as you see fit. But in the last episode, it was mostly traveling from the Wendigo's grotto, the pristine grotto they had found, down to Rusty Dusty Bones' farm. And maybe I can throw some of this up on screen too so people could see. That might be nice. Let's take a look at our map of Appalachia. Play that and take you over to this scene. Okay. We want to go to our tactical map real quick and then sync that with all of you. Perfect. There we go. Woo, I'm learning it. So they had gone from the radio tower, which you could see just above me, over to Rusty's farm, and then they had made their way up past the raiders onto the city or town, you might say, of Hope, previously known as Hopewell, prior to the war. We have a full detailed recap over on Substack, so that is tftfallout.com. You could go find all the recaps for the first 3 episodes. The 4th will be up there. And it's got some character breakdowns too. So if you want to see maps and other information, I'm trying to upload that. If you ever have a question, there are comment sections over there too, where you could drop that in, and you can feel free to get in touch with me that way. We have a Discord server, the YouTube channel. We got the Twitch page, which is Overseer Kyle. So swing on by, ask questions, comment, do all what you got to do. And oops, I'm sorry. There's a little bit of double play there on one of my screens, but I've got it taken care of now. They went up to Hope, and I believe in this last bit of the recap, and I'll let you guys fill in all the color to this, but you had last gotten to the town where Jim and Raven split off and started to go to Jacob's infirmary in town. And then I believe Sam had chosen to go up the main street towards Tom's robot repair facility, his sort of shop in town. Let me flip that over for you all too, so you can get a visual on this. Whoop, there we go. So let me actually show that for people that don't know Hope. They came in through Main Street, Hope down here, traveled up, and Sam went in here to the robot repair parlor, if you will. And we had the other guys, Mac and Jim, who had gone over here to the infirmary in town where they met up with Jacob. And that's what I last remember. I don't remember who was in... I think that, Jim, you needed some... You still have some injuries, I believe. Is that right? Or did we get rid of one?
Yeah, no, we didn't.
So you still got 2 from last week, a broken arm and leg?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. I thought we had rolled on some of that before we left. And
we did. We did.
And you didn't fix any, none of those got injured or healed up? I guess it didn't, huh? The difficulty was really high. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you. I was gonna say we rolled, and then what? Nothing got fixed, nothing happened, but it was because you traveled the whole day. Sam, you were gonna say something.
Oh, I could have sworn that we rolled for the leg, because I remember you picking a die up to try to see which limb would be healed.
That also sounds familiar. I'm sorry, I'm not tracking character injuries. That is that I will I will rely on you guys to track how injured your characters are. So Jim, do you have 1 or 2 marked down there on yours so far? We'll go with whatever you have marked. And we'll introduce some new systems today too.
Let's see.
I'm plunging from my memory. I do recall, if you look at the last roll, he rolled a 6 and a 19, and you said the complication would be that not everything is healed.
Oh, yeah, then yeah.
Because he did roll a comp.
I have literally no recollection of it, but I'm happy to roll with that because that works for all of us. You're totally right.
Yeah.
There is a complication, and I guess the successes there were too low, huh? He would have needed it was quite high. I think 5 or 4 maybe to pass that test. So let's go ahead back into that. My recommendation for you all today, I mean, I don't want to railroad you to any one direction, but it is to say today would be a good time for us to experiment with some things around the town. That is to say, you all have been introduced in the last episode to the idea that a bulletin board sits out front of the church here, and it has some tasks on it. I will get you a Notion page here in just a second. This one has all of the posters uploaded to it, so hopefully this link will let you all see it very easily. Copy and throw that in the Discord chat for them very briefly here. Okay, so hopefully you all can see that. It's not, well, I mean, the people in my players, sorry to people at home, it's not a very exciting sheet, although some of these things might be. Maybe I'll toss some of these up on screen. That they have a couple posters that they've seen before, the players, that is to say, they've seen these, and it comes with a couple tasks for them to do. So I'll pull them up on screen as is appropriate. But resetting the scene, I'll let the players kind of do what they want around town, sort of explore things, talk to people, all the good stuff, because a lot of information was sort of truncated at the very end of last week's session. So we left off everybody getting a long rest today. That means everyone gets +2 to their HP, and we'll say the game resumes today around 7 a.m. So with that, I will pass that back to the group so they can decide what they want to do. Maybe Sam, maybe we want to start with you, in fact, because you're up there by yourself, kind of just waking up. So if you want to take it away with your plans for the day, you can tell the audience a little bit and go ahead and do it yourself.
So I'll hop out of bed, go check out the bulletin board. I see that there's a couple things on here. I'm thinking we have the ability to create Hope's first trading post. So, and we probably amongst ourselves have enough construction materials to be able to do that. And I'm also kind of interested in checking out the power, because I do know that we will need to up some of the power in here in order for a lot of other things to function. So with that, I'll put all that in the back of my mind and go ahead to the infirmary and check on Sam, or check on Jim and Raven out here.
Sounds good. And with you just doing that, I'll go ahead and throw this one up on the screen. Here's one of the first help wanted posters. Terry's General Goods needs your help in opening Hope's first trading post. Some required supplies, a day of help constructing it, and a couple rewards and things like that. We're going to spend a lot of time today, by the way. I just want people at home to know our role play today will be punctuated with downloads of information about the rules. Bear with us as we are implementing an entirely additional system on top of what the players have done before. They've done a lot of combat, a lot of exploration, but now they're getting into settlement management. So again, pardon as we dip in and out of RP to go into a little bit of necessary management steps. So Sam, you had seen the board. You maybe took some of those flyers if you want to grab them off there yourself, just to kind of indicate to the town that someone's working on them. We could say you took those with you in your inventory, and you grabbed those 3 and run over, or 2, whatever you decided to take, over to your friends. You can resume there. Going into the infirmary, bright and early.
Since Jim was the one who was most messed up, I walk over and go check on him, see if he's awake. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm still struggling. I mean, I don't even remember half of what happened yesterday. I'm just so in shock from the injuries and the medications that they've got me on. I don't even know what's going on.
Might be good for you to rest up then, my friend.
That sounds about right. There's not much I can do at the moment.
Yeah. I don't think you'll be swinging any hammers with us.
No.
All right, pal. Well, you relax. I found some of these flyers on the bulletin board out there. We might try to do some of the ones in town while you're resting up. And then maybe when you're feeling better, we can go scavenge for some generators and everything.
That sounds pretty good.
Alrighty, pal. I will go to Raven and very much kind of like tell her the same thing, that I found these flyers. I bet that if we put I have a common scrap in my inventory, so I tell her that we could work on that today while Jim is resting.
As you're conveying that message to Raven, it's about this time when Jacob pops his head around the corner, working and kind of organizing. We'll say he's over near some of the supply crates a little bit, maybe more interior to the facility. By the way, this is a broken down, kind of reformatted local theater hall. Nothing too extravagant, but it's got sort of recessed seating, and served as a little bit of an operating theater over the past couple, I guess the past week or so that they've been here in town. Jacob pops his head around and says, Hey, Sam, good morning to you. Seems like you're up nice and early. These 2 giving you any trouble so far? They've been pretty good patients overnight for me.
Oh, no issues, friend. How have you been? It's been a while.
Well, hey, things are going here. We're sad to see all the people that have come and gone from the town recently, but with enough threats our way, it is like that. It's I get it. But I heard from you guys that you brought a couple people back into town on your last mission. How many people did you bring back? What, 4 or so settlers came back?
We were able to get 4 back. Unfortunately, 2 of them, they weren't entirely convinced, and they pushed on through.
Hell. We had a little bit of a meeting up in the town hall while you were gone. It's weird times around here. Well, we've it's something you got to talk to Tom about. Is some radio broadcasts have been starting to come through. We had a little bit of a town hall meeting right before you guys arrived, kind of wondering what to start doing with these calls, needing people to start routing them. But it's happening. It's hard to believe you got connection back into these parts of the mountains and the wilds. Man, for as much loss of hope I have with people leaving, I'm sure feeling good now to be back on the grid, so to speak, back in connection with our people. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm hoping that a lot of the locals feel the same way as you, especially now that we've brought a few of their neighbors back, and since we're able to get Hell's Bells back, maybe we'll be able to turn and we'll get to work on some stuff. So maybe we'll be able to turn this entire thing around.
You probably saw they started coming up with a list of to-dos now that people aren't leaving so fast. The people that have decided to stay, those that didn't go, we kind of started to chip in ideas of what we need to start building up. I didn't write mine yet, but as I mentioned you guys before, we need to expand this place out. We got a structure here. We got some walls. But, if we make this thing bigger, if we create a better kind of clinic, better systems here, if we get more people, we'll be able to offer a lot more medical supplies. And I know I wouldn't be sad to get back to a little bit of research work as well. Those weird, all those fungus out there, the what you all brought back into town has, with what limited medical supplies I got, what little limited microscopes I have, I've seen some strange displays from it. Is all I can point out. Appalachia's had a interesting history. Sam, did you know before you all got here, there was already some sort of plague like this? The scorch? You ever heard of it?
I don't think so. I don't know if I've ever heard of the scorch.
Yeah, we might need to get you inoculated then if you're going to head down towards Foundation. It's a must of theirs. It's in the rules and bylaws of the city. If you're going that way, it is. But just to say, it makes people look... It makes them look worse than ghouls, Sam. They get protrusions, green crystals. They look like horrible burn victims. That's why I say a little worse than ghouls. Like a ghoul sat in a fire or something. But anyway, the worst part of it is that it can spread. If they get you, well, they might get you, and you might be running around with them soon. So, just something to be mindful of.
Well, hopefully we can get that taken care of, and we'll be working on a trading post today, so maybe we'll get you some more medical supplies in soon, and we'll get on the hunt for that microscope. I've been looking, no luck on the path that we took, but maybe we can find some sort of medical facility in any other direction.
Hey, be a hell of a benefit to us, Sam. Let me. He's going to briefly relay this to your character, but I'm going to tell you all sort of above board. This is, again, a bit of the dotting of the information in here, everybody. Right now, I believe what he's working from is considered a first aid station. Don't let the name fool you compared to the actual building scale. The first aid station can be upgraded to a clinic, and then its final level can be upgraded into a surgery center. That is a little bit more befitting of a operating theater like he has here. Let me see if I can pull some of the information so you guys know what that means. So it goes on to say, medical stores, these include clinics. They can buy and sell chems and provide medical services. First aid stations sell chems up to a rarity of 1 as standard. So that goes for you guys right now. Clinics can be first aid. They can sell you chems up to a rarity of 1. They increase to a rarity of 2 with a clinic and 3 with a surgery center. So 1 right now, 2 soon, 3 whenever you do that last one. These stores take the form of clinics and medical centers, and they also provide medical care. They can offer these services to you for any test the vendor counts. So it can heal your injuries and HP. They're apparently charging you guys for this, but not currently. But on the typical, if you went into a town you don't have rep with, it might cost you 60 caps, and they can perform first aid actions. They can use diluted stim packs. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so the first level, this thing can provide diluted stim packs for your healing. The next level, a full stim pack. And the final, a super stim pack. That makes sense. They can also purge rads and cure addictions. So those are kind of the idea, the upgrade tiers to the medical facilities. To keep it short and simple, TLDR, the higher you make the level, the more he's going to offer you in terms of sales, and the more Jacob and his crew can do for actually healing you. Beyond that, I think the narrative potential of any of these things blossoms the larger the building is. If you got a strong medical center in town, I can see why a lot of other people might flock to the town for safety, security, etc. So Jacob conveys all that to you, saying, he actually, Sam, he clasps you over the shoulder, and he does one of those things where he sort of pivots you, and he kind of points out and gestures over the descending theater in front of you as the slope into. He goes, Sam, I could just see it now. I know you got some medical training yourself. Just imagine if we got the rest of these lights up and running here, we could get these surgery tables. We could actually get them all separated out, get some, maybe plastic or cloth, keep these areas a little separate, get people maybe a little of their own rooms in here. So, could be working on different people at the same time, but, different areas. And he goes and he shows you some of the medical supplies. Our supplies are still low. We can still sell you a little bit. I've got a little bit in the time that you've been gone. People have been scavenging hard in the surrounding ruins. So just throwing it out there. If you need anything before you guys do anything crazy today, you let me know. But we'll also make sure we're taking care of Jim. And I'll tell you one last thing. He's hopped up on enough drugs that if you need him around town, he can go. But just try and keep him out of combat. Otherwise, and heavy lifting. Combat, heavy lifting, maybe use his brains, not his bronze.
Gotcha. I appreciate the medical release for old Jim, Doc. Thank you.
Yeah, hallelujah to you. Good luck out there.
Yes, sir. Well, Jim, you heard what the doc said.
Yep.
Are you feeling up to... Maybe you can engineer us this trading post.
I probably could. It doesn't seem too difficult of a task.
Alrighty. Well, if y'all are ready, we can get to work.
Sure thing. Just to call out...
Hey, Jim, look, a deathclaw. You should fight it.
No response from Jim. He must just deadpan it, Raven.
Deathclaw? What are you talking about?
Funny jokes. Don't mess him up too much. He's on a lot of painkillers.
Oh, okay.
So above board for folks, the trade caravan post. If you're interested in making this is what will enable Rusty to come up this way in the future. A trade caravan post serves as a simple structure. It represents something much more significant, though, making a deal with local trade caravans and building a simple shelter and Brahmin trough where the traders' animals can stop and rest. It ensures that trade comes to the settlement. This provides a means for the settlement to trade, as described on the trade and income page in the settler's book. So we can look into that a little bit later. And the trader is set to arrive every 7 days. We'll figure out timing as things go on here for everybody. We're introducing also some rules for travel in the future that might make travel take a little bit more time. And I don't mean that in the arduous, drawn out sense, but for the for the characters in the game, a little bit more time may pass when you're on an actual expedition. So some of that 7 days, you're going to go faster. And if people are ever absent from our gaming session one night, we can focus a lot more on the settlement system. So who are you guys off to find now? You got your friends regrouped. Where's the gang off to? Is there any you want to check in with, was it Terry that's running the trade operations here, trying to get that set up? So you guys just let me know where you're going.
I was thinking maybe we should grab a breakfast in order to make sure they're all good to go. We haven't been to the old cafeteria in a while. Maybe see what they have if it's only pink slime.
I say go for it. Rest of the gang, what are you doing?
Sound good, I am Strave. I was going to eat Jim leg.
Yeah, we might eat our packed lunches.
So as you go up there, meandering through town, you know what? We're gonna have an easy confluence of events here, where we're gonna put Terry in. Terry's character, I don't think, is on the map, and honestly, I got a Jacob for us as well. So let me put in Terry. He's getting breakfast as well. Why the heck not, Terry? Get some food, man. Let's make him visible to you all. Show. There we are. Terry. Good old Terry the trader, who's got the best name in Fallout. Well, good morning
Terry.
there.
How have you been, old friend? It's been so long. We've been out on the road, feels like forever.
Yeah, I caught up with old Tom this morning. He told us about a hell of an adventure y'all had in the going up there in the mountains. There's been calls coming in. I got to tell you, some of those radios that I got sitting in my my back room, I've been buzzing off the hook. I had to take the power cells out of them. Too much.
Well, at least it's good to hear that it's all back on the air.
You know, there's a good chance this town will rebound. I'm really excited. I don't know if you guys caught it, but I put up a notice. I'm looking to get me some muscle to help put together a trading post. Tom says you may have met up with a rather precarious ghoul out there. And, well, he also gave us that down low about... Well, I guess I should say he gave me a down low from Foundation saying that Blue Ridge is on the run. You know, well, on the rise. You know who they are?
Blue Ridge, I don't know if I heard of them yet.
They are, an expanding enterprise in this region. Blue Ridge Caravan Company, running through, well, mostly tunnels. They like to set up their bases in tunnels. It's sort of a smart thing, actually. It gives them control over sort of underpasses and all the rest. They got some pretty good things, pretty good deals, but so far we've been well out of their circuit. They're mostly operating in southern parts of Appalachia, what people used to know as the West Virginia area. Used to be down there by the sort of Blair Mountain region. I don't know how well you guys know these parts, but the point is they're down there, sort of by Foundation. They actually have some stops over there, by the way. Got them some pretty good deals. I want to get in on it, too. We need to start bringing in some new merchandise because right now, slim pickings. That's kind of one of the reason people are leaving. And you'll notice here, the food on the cafeteria counter is my personal stock today. And, well, I know this good town will, sort out our reserves. Not a problem with that. I just, I worry that once what I've got's gone, well, it's gone. And who knows what the people will be eating next.
Well, certainly appreciate you keeping the town fed, my friend. It's good that you mentioned the trading post. I did see that flyer this morning, and we actually were going to come to you to talk to you about it, so it's good that you're here. Hopefully, if we get that done, we can get old Rusty here and relatively soon, and then we can maybe travel south and go check out that Blue Ridge that you're talking about.
I'm all about it, Sam. And he sits down sort of across the table from Jim. He goes, Jim, you're looking a little under the weather there, buddy. How you doing? Well,
medications they've got. I'm not really certain about where am I at and how am I don't know how I got. I'm hanging in there.
Well, maybe I got some supplies I could sort out for you. Let me take a gander at my place later, see if I got anything that might put some pep back in your step. If you're gonna be building things today or whatever your part is, maybe we can get you something to make that frown turn upside down. And he actually is carrying sort of a little bit of a ledger with him, something that he marks down, some stuff that's needed around the town, pretty much a clipboard and sort of an inventory list. And you can see him flip through a couple pages as he's sitting at the table with you. And he goes, well, we are short on stim packs and all the rest, but what about some of these other drugs we might have in the back section here? I'm trying to see here. Does he have Med-X? He does. Does Med-X help with people where they give that some pep in the step? Is a potent opiate analgesic, which significantly boosts the perception. A perception of pain and the neural emotion response. In short, it's a powerful painkiller. Well,
he's on Med-X right now. He is Med-X'd out.
He's Med-X'd out. Okay. Well, and he's flips. I actually have one out, about 2 more doses of overdrive ready if you're interested in any of that, Jim. That'll really make you go, but maybe go a little bit too far. What else?
Got any mentats, maybe?
I do have some mentats I could part with.
That might clear up some of his brain fog.
Jim, you like any flavor of mentats in particular? I'll go back to the store and take
whatever
a look.
you got.
Okay. Well, you know what? While you all finish your meal here, I was sort of just finishing mine up whenever he came in, but I want to sit down and chat a little bit. I'll go take a look. I'll also check in with you, Raven. Haven't seen you since you left. How you doing over there? You're looking silent as always.
Mr. Terry said something about tunnels. You mean like the mole people, Mr. Terry? Mom says best to stay clear of them.
Well, tunnels. It's true, but down south they were held up in a tunnel that was sort of a west to east going tunnel. I think there was something about the train tracks down there. You know, that's another thing you should all talk to Tom about, the train tracks. He'll tell you more. Just remember that for later. Just ask him next time you see him. If he doesn't yap your ear off about it first.
Okay.
But as for those, I mean, I don't know. Go in there at your own discretion. If it's home to them, they usually have a big old sign and some defenses outside. Usually some guards and maybe Brahmin pen, things like that. Things you'd expect on a little trading outpost. But if you hear some groaning and not the good kind, it might be something worse. So do caution with all tunnels in these parts, I'd say.
We'll certainly heed your advice, friend.
Okay, then. Well, enjoy your breakfast. I'll be scooting on my way. And about the time he's going out, I'll say about Lena is probably walking in here to get her day started. And, those two greet each other at the door. You can only hear like the faintest hello, good morning sort of thing. Good to see you, Terry, blah, blah, blah. As he goes on his way over to fetch some mentats. If I note to players, if I forget about the mentats, you can find Terry over there. Maybe I should just above board that. Actually, you guys can go meet up with him later to see some stuff. But Jim, he is going to get you an on the house mentats. So if you just want to add regular mentats to your inventory, it helps you reroll a d20 on perception and intelligence tests. And it will last the entire session. There is an addiction roll we do on it just to see. I think Jim's character in Fallout 76 got addicted to alcohol recently. This one, you can get addicted to mentats. But anyway, I'll just shout it out for people at home. Mentats were a popular recreational and performance-enhancing drug before the Great War, which enhanced memory and speed mental processes. It was popular among students studying for exams and amongst armchair philosophers and those in jobs requiring intensive thought. The effects only last for a short time, leaving the user feeling tired and unfocused afterwards, and they are addictive by design, with withdrawal causing migraines and irritability. So most of you probably in character do not know all of those effects unless you are well-versed in pre-war medicine, or unless your character has had an extensive history, kind of using mentats in various ways. So I'll let that, of course, be your own creation of design, how you want to do that. But at this time, Lena comes over, and you see her stop over at the kind of cafeteria bar. And from what you guys can see sitting at your table looking over, she's picking up cans of cram. Her face, you can see you just go, ugh. And she sits that back down. Some, I think it's pork and beans she picks up. She's going to settle for that. She's going to have some pork and beans this morning. So she slops that out over a tray and kind of heats it up. There's some of those little, I forget what they're called, little flame sort of things going on over there. Maybe they've got something jury-rigged themselves for more post-apocalyptic. Actually, it's probably them using some of those like pan plate heater sort of things. Warming, whatever, I can't think of the word. But she's sitting it on there, heating it up. And she, that's heating. She sees you over the corner and goes, "Good morning, guys. Great to see you. Hi, Raven. How you doing? I'll be with you in just a second." As she scoops up her plate tray, comes on over, grabs a seat. "Morning, y'all. How's being back in town treating you? Nice to be sitting on a regular mattress in bed at night."
Oh, absolutely. It's good to be back home. I was going to ask you the same thing.
Pardon me one second, everybody, as my game is not reflecting this properly. Let's do a little reset of the alchemy so people can see. Lena's supposed to be in there with you, and she is not on the overlay. So let's get Lena back. Now maybe there's 2 Lenas. There's 2 Lenas. Yay! Okay, there we go. We got the proper count of Lenas up there. She goes, "Oh, I mean, I'm happy to be back in town. I'm glad to be getting back to my work here. Tom and I have been just talking nonstop about really everything. Kept me up quite a while last night. We caught up and filled me in. Talk of power supplies running low here, affecting the water. It's kind of hurting our ability to purify water. I don't know if you all saw the purifiers up there by the church, but those are the main things that keep these town people hydrated. That's no good, but he tells me the talk on the radio is of big expansion throughout Appalachia. I don't know if y'all are interested in partaking in that, knowing that you just came back from an adventure and that Jim's half dead, but still, I mean, I'm always looking for something new."
Oh, well, we will certainly keep it on our radar. Today we're going to start working on that trading post, maybe get some supplies into town, and we definitely wanted to get to work on that generator, or working on some of the power generators here soon.
Sounds like a plan to me. I guess the first thing is, and I don't know if sounds like you caught up with Terry as I saw him coming out, but figure out where y'all want to put that thing and, well, probably get that crazy mayor bot around here. Maybe he could help you out with any questions you got with it. Also, I'll just tell you something. Well, catch me later when I'm with Tom, but there was an interesting radio signal we've been getting in this morning, and he's over there trying to decipher it. That might be something of interest to y'all, too. I don't know what it means yet, but maybe it's a little bit of a distress call? And it might not be a today issue. I don't really know. We'll see what all the message says if we can catch more of it. But right now, Tom's trying to link in some of the radios with the Alfred unit over there, see if he can play a little bit of operator, dispatcher. Again, it's a time of busyness as everyone's trying to use the same radio channels at once.
Well, thanks for the heads up. Maybe after breakfast, we'll go check in with Tom, and we'll see how Alfred's doing after his first night back.
Sounds like a plan. If y'all are finished up here, you go on your way. Don't worry about me. I've got a lot of people to touch base with, so, I'm always around if you need me.
Well, you enjoy your breakfast.
Yes, Miss Lena, I saw your food and water supply look real bad. Is there any way to use the river to make power? I think my old tribe use a water wheel to make power.
Oh, that's a really good question, Raven. Let me consult the sheet here. Was there a power station that was creatable? I know that there is a windmill. There is a windmill, but I think maybe we could replicate the windmill into a water wheel if you would like. That's probably very possible, Raven, above board. So Lena hears your question and she kind of ponders it for a moment. You kind of see her thinking, Well, that's a heck of an idea. You said your people already done something like this? You got a working water wheel? You know those things are hella hard to recreate. But it could work. You just might have to let us in on a couple secrets there. Jim over there doesn't look half alive enough to help. Jim, you doing okay, man? You're about slumped into your food.
Well, like I said to who was it again? He said, and I said medications, and I'm not totally sure what happened and how I got here, but I'm hanging around.
Actually, we'll make it convenient and say about this time, Terry comes on back in, right on cue, as if someone were designing this plot that way. And Terry says, "Hey there, here's your mentats," and he slides them across the table to you. Say, "Jim, that one's on the house. I'm going back to get things ready over there. But you guys need anything from me today, you just come find me. Protectron's been roaming the streets too, so if you need the mayor, well, he's supervising people, one of his favorite things to do. You'll probably not have a hard time finding him. He's the one yelling instructions at everyone, telling them to giddy up. So I'll catch you back around the store over there if you guys need anything." He's kind of going to depart, unless you guys want anything for him before he goes.
No. I'll say, see you later, Terry. And Jim, to wash that down, why don't you take this Nuka-Cola? It's been a while since you had one. That might put some pep in your step.
All right, I'll give it a try.
Okay. So for people's food today, everyone can count that they have just eaten here. You got a food on the house sort of vibe. And as for the Nuka-Cola, Sam, are you giving him one of your personal Nuka-Colas, or?
Yes, I was gonna give it to him.
Okay.
And actually hope we can consume it.
Does that help him to consume that? If it does, by all means, go for it, you guys.
It doesn't help him entirely. I think it gives us an AP and a bottle cap.
Sure. You're right, it does. And if you guys want me to pull the rule on that, I can. But that's correct from my recollection of it, too. Jim, do you want to take the mentats now, or you? I'm fine with you keeping them for what do I want to say? For narrative purposes, you got a freebie. For the sake of how you're using them, you can do as you please with consuming them.
Okay.
You can use them at any point you want.
Yeah, I'll save them.
Okay. So the plan, you're going to go off and start picking a spot, then maybe find the Protectron in town. It might be a good time to do a little bit of a tour just for people as well, so they can see where we are. I don't know that, we know the town of Hope very well, and I did a little intro to it earlier, but maybe this is a good time to show off a little bit more of Main Street here too while we're looking at it. So this building that's closest to me here was a bit of a vault-tec in plain sight experiment. The people in this office right next to me here, and with the lab coat man that's dead on the ground, they were spying on the office up above them, which was sort of a quack charlatan doctor who was sort of a spiritual guru doctor. He was giving out a cream, a lotion that was supposed to open your temple, your aura, get all that stuff going. And you're rubbing this radioactive cream right on your temples, basically just irradiating themselves. And they were kind of watching through this kind of two-way or whatever, one-way picture here, where they could sort of, open the slats on this, and it would give them a nice view into the waiting room and into the doctor's office itself. So these guys were definitely spying from the comfort of their place. It was a very nondescript office. Across the street from it here, we had a toy store. There's potentially more things to scavenge in there. I'll just shout that out. There might be some extra supplies in there still if you guys are interested. The Nuka-Cola shop is something just to keep an eye on as well. You guys mentioned the pink goo. This is actually, I'm confusing the one that's right above it. Whoop, there we go. Get them both on screen. The Nuka-Cola shop has some extra supplies in there. And I think last time we were here, they were trying to repair the Nuka Protectron. I don't think we got anywhere with that when we had left the town, and it's been quite a long time. So we can touch base on that one too. The one up above it has, this was the pink goo experiment, where this facility was sort of a Slocum Joe's shop on Main, and it was one of those partnerships where this facility was using the pink goo, and when it would come out of the machines, it would be in the shape of the thing you wanted to buy. So sort of one of those, there's those pizza machines out there. There's cupcake machines out there. I'm referencing real life for a second. There's all those like vending machine style things that they have these days that you can see it like 3D print your food. And that's sort of the idea behind this. It's like an automat style thing where you would go up and you kind of open up one of the things and you could get your plate from it. But on the back side of it, the machine's basically 3D printing your donut with pink goo. Our comrades told the town not to consume it, but some of them had. Reminder to our crew here, they did mention someone was in the jail as a result of that, I believe. Across the street is Terry's, and I think just a stock room, like a storeroom up above it, where they found some weapons and supplies. So Terry's got a place. He referenced there were radios in his back room. He's got some sitting there. He was, saying he took the power cell out of it. And then across the street, I'll just say we got our police station that's directly across from my camera right now, where the Protectrons have some charging bays. This room next to it is now serving as kind of the kitchen for the cafeteria. It used to be a pre-war showroom, I guess would be the word for it. Come in, see the latest and greatest of kitchen automation sort of energy in that place, and they've just sort of taken that over and reformatted as a cooking establishment. So if the crew here ever needs to cook things, there's a stove and all the rest in there. But I think that gives our tour of town just a little bit more. There is room if people want to build the trading station anywhere in particular. But if you guys want, you go out and sort of prospect a bit. You go out and talk with the Protectron, go out and do missions, whatever your hearts want to do. But I'll say in 15 minutes, we will take our 9 p.m. Eastern time AFK break for 10 minutes. So 15 minutes, I pass it to you, gang.
I personally wanted to drop in with Tom and Alfred and see how they were doing.
Sure. You go out there. Also, in terms of weather, we'll say it's about now somewhere like 8, 9 in the morning, maybe good old 8:30. You've gone around town, kind of done your hellos with people. It's a windy day, if anything. And also maybe an opportunity to kind of show people, it's probably a pain in the butt. Never mind. There's a nice little view of Hope. You can go find it in the latest blog post if people want to see it. But Hope's got a pretty simple Appalachian town. It's got a church at the end of it, as we've mentioned, and these are just basically red brick shops along the way. So coming through, it's a gusty morning, a strong breeze blows through. It's kind of getting to the time of year, at least in Appalachia, we'll say, this part of it, where there's a bit of a chill in the mornings. We're getting into late summer, entering into the fall season. And you can kind of pick up on that a little bit, Sam, as you're heading out there in this time of day. Get over to the shop. The awnings are kind of blow it in the breeze just a bit. Nothing too crazy, not a hurricane gust, but breezier than it has been. As you walk in to Tom's shop, I'm guessing you do your little knock on the door, little rap on the wall as you enter in there.
Howdy, Tom. How are you doing this morning?
Tom, very focused on the computer, tapping away, barely looks up and goes, Sam, good to see you. How you doing today? I'm hella busy. I barely caught a wink of sleep last night. We've been getting calls and beeps and chirps. And by the way, over there in the corner, you notice your Alfred, Mr. Handy, is quickly popping away on the computer. And Sam, as you're talking to Tom, you hear Mr. Handy go, thank you for your call. One moment, please. Press another button. This is Alfred from Hope. Hello. And he's kind of just in the background. Basically, he's serving as a little bit of a impromptu operator. And Tom looks over and goes, he's a hell of a handy guy. He's been taking calls all night from people. Now he got that radio station online. We're serving his Grand Central Station over here, sorts.
Well, I won't bother him too much, and I won't bother you too much, but I did hear, little birdie told me that you got strange radio message overnight. I was just curious about, maybe some of the details on that.
Yeah, it's something weird. I don't know what to make of it yet. We're waiting for maybe another rebroadcast of it. I guess I should say it's been on a semi-regular timer, and it's not coming from too far from here. It's some sort of alert, but I don't know exactly what it is. It seems to be a distress call. You ever seen one of those vault-tec automated alerts they send out whenever a vault's in distress? Maybe you never seen those. I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, it's kind of like that. It's similar frequency, but it doesn't have a pre-recorded message that we've picked up on. It's maybe coordinates, something. I don't know what this is. Too much is scrambled, too much is missing.
Well, if you get any more information on it, please feel free to tell me. I'll come back later once y'all are not, as packed as y'all are now, obviously, and I'll check it out. In the meantime, we're going to go work on that trading post for y'all. Hopefully get that done. I'll leave y'all be.
Wait. Before you go, maybe you take a look at it, Sam. Maybe you make some heads or tails of this. But while I got an extra set of eyes here, and I don't think Lena's...
Yeah.
I don't think she'll be too excited if I throw this at her first thing in the morning. Yeah,
all right, for sure. Let me take a look.
He'll take your help with this. What I want to give you is some sort of skill test. Let's see what makes sense for finding out what a signal might be. I think like an intelligence or perception is a good one, and I think survival and perception, survival and intelligence, that seems pretty reasonable for this test. How about one of those, Sam? You can choose what you want your special to be, but the skill, we'll use survival for it. Perception or intelligence as your special?
Intelligence.
Okay, so survival and intelligence for you. Difficulty 2. I will actually say, just because of how that came through, I will say you look at this readout on Tom's screen, and I think that what you get from this is confirmation that Tom was right. This is some sort of coordinate that's being relayed, but it is missing information. It is missing parts of the message to be decoded. What you gather is probably that this signal is coming from about your region, and that's the most you get from it now. This is not a signal that is bouncing off from like a lower part of Appalachia, but it is something close enough by that I'd say Sam feels semi-confident that this is within probably another 24-hour trek of the place, maybe even less. I think that's it.
Now that I'm taking a look at it, this first batch of numbers, that's like a region code. That means that it's coming from nearby. I learned that from my days in the military. But this other batch of numbers, I mean, that's a mystery to me. That's nothing that I'm sure of. Jim, he's a pretty smart guy, but right now he's a bit under the weather. So maybe when he's doing a little bit better, we can have him come take a look at this as well.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, Sam. That's a good intel. I wonder if the rest of this, it's either. Here's my guess. Here's my pondering before you leave. I'll guess that the last bit of this, well, at least the missing part, we got to have a chunk here that's going to probably give you the rest of the region code. And I'm wondering if the rest of this is something about what the actual distress call is. I'm calling it a distress call because it's coming on a regular basis. So that's my operating theory and hypothesis. And if we catch more of it today, I'll try and let you know later. If I forget, you let me know. A lot of people.
Could be some type of proprietary vault-tec code.
That'd make a hell of a lot of sense, especially after what you guys found in town.
right, well, we'll certainly keep that in the back of the mind and try to figure it out. You know, I'm always down for a mystery. You know me, I love those old comic books.
If you love those old comic books, you might even find some spare ones sitting around in town. I know some people have been picking through the toy shop down there that you guys cleaned out. There's probably a couple more still trapped under some rubble, or maybe even fresh on the shelf if you're lucky.
Don't let Alfred know that. That boy, he loves comic books as well.
Did somebody say comics? Oh, Master Jim, Master Sam, have I told you about my favorite books recently? I, last night, went back and reacquainted myself with some of my favorites. I'd love to tell you all about it now that you're here and have time to listen to my long story.
Unfortunately, Alfred, we'll have to take a rain check on that because it looks like you're busy as well. We gotta go get some work done, but I'll love to hear all about it later.
Oh, you're right. I have 3 people waiting on hold. Oh dear. Oh, this is Alfred speaking. Oh, yes, hello, this is Alfred speaking. He's switching through the channels, basically saying it to them all over again. Maybe we get him sorted out, get him a helper next time. Maybe that damn mayor could come back around these parts and actually do some work of his own. That'd be a nice occasion. Hey, actually, before you go, Sam, sorry I'm overloading you here. I did want to tell you, though, be gentle with the mayor if you're talking to him today. His program's still on spooling a bit, and he keeps, whenever he comes in to charge up, he is asking for some sort of vault-tec service package, like a software download. I don't know that they actually finished the Smile program, but it's working. I mean, he's out there imagining blueprints and telling people where to put bricks, so I guess that counts for something. He's been helping them repair some of the shelters here, some of these buildings that have seen some collapse in them. He's getting that together. So at least there's that.
Well, we'll have to see. I'll have to see exactly what you're talking about. And again, maybe Jim can take a look at that. He's a robot guy, but unfortunately he's just out of commission right now. I appreciate all the information. We're gonna get this taken care of, and good luck today with all those calls.
You too. I'll get back to it, making my lists. And he goes back, and you can see him just immediately eyes lock back on the computer screen as Tom's typing away.
Alfred, don't burn out your pincer servos, moving all those cords back and forth.
I'll try, Master Sam. Good luck today.
And with that, I'll go head to the spot that I think, maybe we could put the trading post.
Sure. And the rest of the gang, you guys are welcome to come along as well. Unless anyone wants me, Jim or Raven, if you wanted to do anything else in the cafeteria before we catch back up with Sam, that is a perfect time and segue to do so.
I'm just...
I will find Lena to tell her about how the water wheel thing. I
sure.
remember how the water looked like wheel with buckets to catch the water to help make movement. I think that how it made pow. But I think Jim would know more. He the smart one, but he seemed drunk.
Yeah, Jim, what are you eating, by the way? What sort of food do you have in front of you? What did you grab from the stock there?
I think a can of cram.
A can of cram. That's what I figured. Lena goes, yeah, he looks like he's about to fall over into his cram, and that's no one wants a face full of cram in the morning. Dire straits and all that. Buckets, you say, Raven. Well, I mean, I can maybe get to work thinking up something for you, some sort of design, schematic. I don't know. Buckets. You got anything else for Lena? Otherwise, she's probably going to trail off Raven and go and start working on blueprints herself. You let us know here in a second.
That all I can think of, sorry.
Buckets. Okay, well, we'll see what we can do about that. Buckets. I'm gonna head outside now. Good luck to you. I guess I'm gonna go find some buckets. Jim, did you have anything else for Lenny yourself as she kind of waves at you guys?
No.
And she takes her half-eaten can of pork and beans with her fork in tow and just heads out the door repeating her buckets. Okay, buckets. She's gonna move her way up to the water pump area there. If Jim and Sam are I keep saying Sam out of nowhere. If Jim and Raven, if you two are staying there, you're welcome to. Otherwise, Sam's up here doing his thing. You guys are welcome to wander the town, do what you want. But he is over there working on scouting a location. And actually, this is a perfect time. You know what? Why don't we take our break right now? Top of the hour, right here. You guys can decide what you want to do. Hopefully, this has been a good first hour in introducing some of these systems so you know what's going on with it. I don't want to overwhelm anybody. I don't want to slam you with too much stuff. But yeah, brief little recap. You found out from Tom that there is a radio signal. Maybe I should write some of this down in our actual notes here too. So I'll put in here, oops. Okay, it's not making me a bulleted list. That's fine. I'll go Tom's radio signal, coordinates needed. And then we've got the buildings. That's coming along. What else did they just tease to you? The radio signal, software updates for the Protectron. Okay. Is there anything else people want me to add to the to-do list for the future while I'm in here doing this?
Oh man, I was supposed to ask him about train tracks for Blue Ridge, but maybe add something about Blue Ridge in there.
Yeah, that's a good. Thanks. If you wanted to, by the way, you could. You know what? We'll try and introduce. We'll bring him. Try and bring him back around here in a little bit, so you can do that. Train. Thank you. Honestly. Yeah, that's great. Good reminder, Sam. Thank you for keeping a brain on yourself today. Okay, gang, let's do our AFK for today, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes. I'll run the BRB. Everyone can go grab a drink, and we'll settle in for the remainder of our session. To those that are out there at home, we'll play a little round of Fallout commercials. If you get the chance, please go subscribe on Patreon. Oh, no, on Substack. On the word I was looking for was YouTube. Go subscribe here on Twitch. It's Overseer Kyle. We've got a new Discord server going on. There is no Patreon, so I don't know why that word. I think it was Protectron. I think I was looking at that text on the page, and yeah, my brain's all caught up in the wrong kind of way. So go out there, get subscribed to those things. It's all free, all available. The Substack is the massive home of it all. That will send you an email when things go up brand new. So that is tftfallout.com. Tales from Tomorrow. Fallout.com, TFT, Fallout. Okay, everybody, BRB. See you in 10 minutes. Me special. The fact that I got these great comrades with me to play the Fallout TTRPG. I have just splashed their character information back up on the screen for everyone. We've got Sam, the ranger. We've got Raven, the tribal Mothman cultist. And we've got Jim, the tech specialist survivor. There's a couple of their tag skills, although I think Raven even got a whole new section of tag skills last week. So they are moving right along. Does that mean you're all level 7 now as well? Do I need to update this graphic? Does anyone know the level?
Are we level 7 or level 8? I don't.
I believe you're level 7 now. Would make the most sense to me. Does anyone have 8 on their thing? 8 should be the next upcoming.
I have 7, but I didn't remember changing it.
I think I have 7 in my notes here, unless anyone has a contradictory thing, in which case you're welcome to. I do remember we pulled up the XP chart one of these recent times, so maybe that would help if we just go back to that briefly. Maybe a different thing for later, but let's check the leveling up. Well, those rules aren't in front of me. I'll dig that up later. I think you're level 7 as far as I have. But if you guys have a different thing now, do let me know. Otherwise, that's just a note I need to make for that graphic. Okay, so we left you all. Let me scooch around on the map here a little bit more. We left you all investigating a spot to put a trading post. Caravan post. Before a nice little AFK break.
Oh, above board, I have a question.
Sure.
So if we start building stuff up, will you be like improving upon the map, like adding like visuals of it or not?
Probably, yes. That's the goal.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything for a trading caravan post, but I can probably make something pretty successfully.
Okay.
But to answer that question, yes. And therefore, I think that's a very practical question because, yeah, if there's something already there, we'll just need to expand it and move around it. But it is time for an update to the map anyway. Very good question. So to maybe talk more about that, there's some space in this part that could be, you know, like the fence could be expanded out. We're building a caravan thing. I don't know that any of the buildings would really serve this, but you know, you could technically always like knock down or like, you know, you could always take a regular structure and sort of make it into a barn, I suppose. I'm just throwing things out there. Of course, this map can completely change. I've still got all the source files for it, so.
I think right here in this nice little hole would be nice. Would be a nice place for it. They can come from either the left or the right, or they can come up Main Street as well. And if they're coming up Main Street, then people will know that they're coming through.
Ooh, that's a very good idea. I like that a lot. So with that being said, what all do we need here? So Terry knows what's going on. It's going to take 1 day of construction to help do this. So I think what we'll kind of do, now that we're all back from the break and all settling in, getting into the game state, we can do sort of a fast forward, almost a cut to black on the day. We'll say that you guys are working on that. In fact, the one piece of RP I want to do before we cut to black, we'll be having our little Smile, the mayor, come up here and check things out with you guys. So I'm sure one of you can flag him down as he's walking up and down Main Street with his mayoral hat on. He's got one of those. Here, I'll show you, Chad. I've even got a little picture of him somewhere. We'll go to the Smile rules real quick. And pop this baby up on the screen for a moment. But he's a real cutie with the top hat. And he's going to come up your way and introduce himself. Let's do switch scenes. Whoop, there we go. There he is. I'll try not to RP and pull things up at the same time. Kind of hard to see with the black background, but he's got his little top hat on. He's living his best life. And as Tom had introduced last time, this is a software package created in partnership with vault-tec and Robco. It is the settlement management interface for lasting establishment. That is the Smile system. And effectively, this has changed him over from being a Protectron that was effectively serving as the Appalachian greeter. When our comrades met this Protectron, he was sort of singing songs about Appalachia and inviting people to go down to Foundation. And he's sort of a comical guy in the sense that he was spitting all that out basically on repeat. He'll talk to you and engage with you, but his default is sort of almost like an amusement park greeter. Like, as much as he'll talk to you and say hi, he's just going to go back to saying the same old catchphrases. And, like, he was giving them weird facts about Appalachia, like, did you know we have X amount of parks in the region? Did you know that, there's this many caves to explore? Did you know we've only had 150 missing persons in Appalachia last year? Like, he's just going on a random spout off of just rhetoric. So now, maybe to the peace of the town or their detriment, he has been uploaded with this new system. And as you catch him kind of waddling his way up here in that typical Protectron way, he comes up, we'll say, right to about where Raven is, and he goes, "Greetings, citizens. How is your pleasant weather? today.
Wind's a bit nippy today, but it's not too shabby. How are you, Mr. Mayor?
I agree that the wind is blowing aggressively, and aggressiveness is not tolerated in the bounds of this beautiful city of hope.
What do you plan on doing about the wind then, Mr. Mayor?
Barricades. We need more barricades. Barricades. We need more barricades. Also, a windmill may be of use.
That's actually not a bad idea, Mr. Mayor.
Our power is negative, and we soon expect people will perish.
We are working up a few options to get that taken care of, Mr. Mayor.
Did you know humans eat 1 lot of food per day?
I think being a human, I might have known that, but I appreciate the extra information.
It is important to nourish all of our citizens. I will oversee the storage facility.
Copy that, Mr. Mayor.
Are you planning on building on my property?
Yes, would that be okay? We'd like to build in this area right here. This kind of empty plot. We'd like to build a trading post.
Trade is a lucrative process, a great way to make food for humans. Humans need food, therefore a trade facility is appropriate.
So you'll be giving us our permit then?
You will be issued 1 town permit granted by the mayor of Hope. You can use this to create 1 trading post. And he has a little sort of printer in him. If you remember, he actually printed the last little pamphlet you got about Foundation, and you hear that very dot matrixy, very the whirl of a Fallout printer, and as it spits out, you get a sheet of paper that just grants you permission to build, and it has in that very loose like text font style that you've seen in the other posters. It's just got the most line art outline of a trading post that of course you'd have to squint your eyes and use a lot of imagination to see that as sort of a detailed picture.
You could be an artist, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate the permit.
Thank you for the compliment. However, art is not of urgency. We need power. I will get power. You will get power. And he does like a swift pivot, and one of those things where his like top moves first and his legs follow after, and he begins to kind of meander off this direction, well, to the right of the map. Sorry, I didn't ping, but he's sort of going up there where Lena is. There's a generator right here on the map, so he's probably going up that way. He might be going to interact with Lena. You're welcome to catch him. He's still on his own, thing. But you're welcome to engage with him still. Or get to work on building this. Your choice now that you have a permit in hand.
I'd like to get to work on building this.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I would also kind of like to check in with the squad and see where we're at on just what kind of scraps we have.
Squad.
So, all of you guys. So,
yeah.
Mac and DK, how are we doing on common and uncommon? Because some of this stuff will be a bit to build. Like if we want to build a generator, we need 7 common and 4 uncommon. I know we've gotten some of that though.
Well, I have 19 junk.
I have 4 uncommon.
Well, that works out. We could make at least a small generator. I need to see how negative we are.
Yeah, pardon me, I'm pulling up these costs again.
So we're -2. So we would actually, if we build a small one, we'll be positive. we'll have a surplus.
Small generator, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, 7 common and 4 uncommon to make that. That's what I see here, at least. I think that's what you referenced. Or is that different than the actual thing, the picture there? Pardon me, Sam. I don't mean to cut you off here, except to say, technically, there's 2 different ways. There's a discrepancy here between what that sheet of paper, the actual quest indicator says. It says 12 common materials, 6 uncommon. That is sort of a... I guess my text on there is not proper. It's cheaper if you want to create one. The quest marker itself for the power does want you to scavenge, and I think you guys have kind of already picked up on that it wants you to go to the nearby areas and look for that. But however, if you're urgently wanting to make one, there is a requirement of 7 common and 4 uncommon. It asks for people to have a science skill of 2 to craft that. So I think that's sort of the trade-off. It's cheaper to build one if anyone here has science of 2. Otherwise, the scavenging is kind of the other. That's the supplemental for the science skill, if that makes sense and sounds fair to people.
I think it sounds fair.
More power is not going to hurt you guys, by the way. Sorry, DK.
Oh, I agree.
That would work because I do have a science of 3.
There you go. Then the option stands in front of you. DK can craft with Jim. He can make up to probably a medium generator. And if you get the science exclamation point skill, DK, that perk, pardon me, that is the perk card. That's the one that will let you eventually make a large generator and onto a fusion reactor someday. If you're interested in going that, that's more the crafting style. So, small generator you're crafting, is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay. So that's a small generator that you're going to install to help out the town. And let me see, do we have a... There is a time calculator on the building table we have. Pulling this up, it's a... Let me see, for a small generator... small generator, the game is saying will take 5 days to build. However, we could... I guess that doesn't change the amount of it. I think there's the other thing with building it from scratch. To build it from scratch will take 5 days for a small generator. It's about having, getting all those parts together. We can fast forward 5 days if people want to, by the way. The other information, those detailed on the others. Those ones were only going to take like a day to craft. Like the scavenger station would only take 1 day of honest work, as it says, and the other is 1 day for the trade post. So you guys can absolutely get the trade post done today, and if you guys are also doing the scavenger post, you can get that done within the day too. As for the generator, I'll say you can either go on a scavenging mission today or next session, or you could just go ahead and spend 5 days working on building a generator from scratch. I hope that makes sense. Scavenge for quicker, build for slower, safer.
What are we thinking?
I wouldn't mind just because we could just use the materials that we were going to use to build it on the scavenging station, and we could have a fun little adventure and look for the generators. Perhaps that would lead us on to other things that we're looking for as well.
Yeah, that's true. We could do that.
Ooh.
Sounds good.
Cool. I like your plan. With that being said, why don't we have Sam and the team here set up that trade caravan post? You guys have a nice little chunk of land here right next to the church, right off the side. If in the future, again, you guys want to move out any of the walls here, we could do that. That might be me just in the map editor later, scooching some of these around. But we can expand this, make this into a nice trading post. as a reminder to people watching this in chat or later on, this is going to mean that they can now welcome traders into the town, that there will be a place for their... actually, they might also need to create a Brahmin trough. I wanted to see about that. That was something it mentioned within there. I don't think this is going to cost you guys very much extra, but just to throw that on the laundry list to be formal about it. There was something about a Brahmin feeding trough. 10 common materials for a Brahmin feeding trough, if you guys are okay with making one of those as well. That'd bring the grand total of it up to 15, but we'll say that the trader's cycle starts as soon as the actual trade caravan post is put together. I don't know if there's a formal... Actually, it says it feeds up to 2 Brahmin, so maybe that means you could have more traders coming through. I'll just leave that as an optional, actually. That's what we'll do. I'm making it a overseer rolling on this. 5 common materials, and it'll take the day. You'll build the caravan trade post. If you would like to kind of get your town a little bit more ready, and maybe you guys even want to start utilizing the town's Brahmin, that's just an offer, that if you build the Brahmin feed trough, that will open that for you as well. So caravan trade post, a guy's going to come every 7 days. Brahmin feed trough will give you sort of access if you want to start using the town's Brahmin, and then also that'll take care of the trader as well. So their person's all rested up and happy. In the future, we'll use those troughs as kind of a metric for how many traders could visit at one time.
I'd like to build a trough personally, because then that opens us up if we can get the other caravan company out here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
10 common resources, or junk, I should say, and for some unknown reason, that will take 2 days to build. That must be one hell of a trough with like bedrooms and... Oh, wait, it's just basically a folded sheet of metal. I don't know why it takes 2 days to do that, but it is what it is. So we will kind of do, unless you guys want to go out and do anything else, I will just say from an overseer perspective here, I think you all would spend the day probably hammering away, setting up a trade post. And maybe you guys could tell me, feel free to all of you speak in different, order here, whatever, but maybe you could tell me a little bit about what this trade caravan post would look like for you. Give it a little of your flavor. Like, how would it be a simple stand? Would it be building like maybe you're looking for something that's kind of like a barn attached to a trading thing. Maybe you're building this with the idea of Brahmin being able to kind of pull up into it with easy unloading. Maybe let me know whatever you think, and I'll try and incorporate this into the final design of it.
I think there would definitely be some like awnings and everything to cover up everyone when it's raining. Those especially those radiation rains, the acid rain and everything. I feel like we would make it relatively not completely utilitarian, but comfortable. Mm-hmm. But also, I feel like when Rusty gets here, he would want to put his own spin on it as well. So maybe there'll be some stuff that we don't even have an idea about.
That's very fair.
Maybe that's where he sets up his 3-headed dog statue.
Love it. Anyone else on the team? Jim, you got any thoughts for it? Raven, you got any thoughts?
I was thinking a little earlier, for this whole trading outpost, what if we were to affix on top of whatever structure we build a windmill to kind of like take advantage of this wind?
I think it would be awesome to build a windmill. It is very expensive to do it, though.
But it would save on a lot of, in certain cases we could definitely the surplus of energy if it's windy, but I understand it is very expensive to build.
But a realistic overseer question. Why the heck is it so expensive to build? Why does
See,
it need
and-
16 uncommon pieces?
Because like my point was going to be, I feel like that is for people who aren't focusing on science, and we have a science guy, so maybe we don't need to actually focus on a windmill because it's so expensive, unless we like homebrew it and make it cheaper. But that seems quite ludicrous.
For people at home, well, actually, pardon me, I'm just going to go back to the OG rules. For people at home, I have a digitized version of our rules that I put into Notion. And I just always like to check with the source material when something weird is like this, just in case I transposed anything wrong, because it's totally possible that that happens. So I'm just going through here, got the OG rules pulled up. Windmill, 15 common, 16 uncommon, 4 days for a measly 3 power. To be fair, also to the comment you just made, Sam, but also look, a repair skill of 2 is required. So it's not like it's radically asking more than the science. Hopefully the way I worded that makes sense. It seems like they're on par in the skill requirement. I am more than happy to reduce the cost of this windmill for all of you. Yes, yeah. Here is sort of a trade-off that we could run with the windmill. I'm not sure. Does it say anything in the rules? At a GM's discretion, they may generate more power if placed on top of tall structures. Good, give me the power. Okay, so these tall structures generate power by the wind turning the blades. While relatively simple to build, they take up a lot of materials for relatively little power. Windmills need to be built outside. So it's by their own intention that windmills cost a lot. I want to homebrew this differently. I think because we're going to build it affixed to this, Jim's message, I quite like that. If you've got the rest of the party likes that, GM likes it. And what I would do is we could homebrew a cost for this, and I'm thinking maybe I could roll some combat dice for it. Because again, we're doing something with a high variable here. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, I'm going to roll combat dice here equal to about the cost of these resources. And on the worst case roll where they're all 2s, it'll cost the same exact cost. But more than likely, it's going to roll probably quite a few 1s and some 0s. So if that's cool with everybody, do people want to do the thing on top of the windmill, by the way? The windmill on top of a trade station.
No, I think it's a cool idea. We can affix some planks to the front of it and write hope on it so people can see.
Yeah.
Also to throw out there that you kind of have power rigging already with the church there that's nearby. Like I've sort of implied that there's that generator up there in the corner. I didn't really know what to do with it. I never decided if that was on the second floor or on the first floor, or if it was on a porch or in an interior area. I kind of just didn't know and just let it sit there. But yeah, okay. Oh yeah, you guys got great rolls on this. Really great. Okay, so I'm gonna split this, and the ones that came back is 0s. So it's gonna cost you 4 common material. And yeah, I'll reroll them all to see the uncommon material as well. I know you guys don't have a lot of uncommon material though. Please be low. Ooh. 5 uncommon material, which you could probably scavenge for more, or you could try and see if Terry's got any, or scavenging's probably going to be your best way to do it, is my thought. You guys could probably, with intention, set a goal to go out there and find some uncommon material. So,
I think so.
Just to write those down again, if someone keeps notes on this, that is 5 uncommon and 4 common. The implication is that the building that you're attaching it and affixing it to is already qualifying as some of the common material. You're counter to the rules, which really sound like you're building this very tall structure, like a very high up windmill that you're spending a lot of resources just to build that height. Instead, you've already got the height. Now you're just affixing. If everyone's cool with that, just let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
How many did you have? How many uncommon did you have, DK?
4.
And sorry, we needed 5 of that. 5 uncommon.
Correct.
Oh, you're writing
That's
it down.
right. Yeah.
Okay, sweet, awesome, thank you. Well, yeah, well, then we can check out some more stuff for the generator as well while we're doing that. Like we can try to find more scrap, extra scrap, so that we can just have surplus power and fill that quest out as well.
Personally,
Now, is it Mac? Is it 19 junk? Is it common junk or uncommon?
sorry, I'm looking through.
Well, we at least have enough to get started on the trading post.
Indeed.
I think combined we have enough to do both the trading post and the Brahmin thing.
Beautiful. Beautiful. As you set about your work for today, there are a couple other folks, I believe. Let's see. I don't know that we have anyone assigned as a builder yet in the town. Let's see how many builders, if any. Oh, you do actually. You have 3 different builders already assigned to the town. I'm going to put this in the chat for you all in the call here with me. Hopefully, I don't know if you can open that link or not, but that is, if you can't, just let me know and I'll make it. Someone's in there, so good. Actually, I could probably show this to people at home. So shout out to Ziggy over on the Fallout 2D20 subreddit for making this. This might burn your eyes at home. Whoop. You've been warned. Okay. So Ziggy made this great, he makes a lot of great stuff, but Ziggy in particular made this great Google Doc that manages settlements. And I don't know that everything maths out properly. It's so complex. Like what he's done here is so great. But there might be a bug or two in here that I've sort of found. I'm not smart enough to diagnose it for poor Ziggy though. But currently what it's indicating is that there's not enough people doing farming at the moment, that there's one available farmer job. And if someone decides to work that, and I think that even goes for like Raven, if Raven, you've shown a proclivity and interest in foraging in the past, while you're in town, if you want to help them forage, as long as you're here and willing to donate your day for that, that would take care of that. Your water is in short supply. Also, there's another Brahmin milker job available, apparently. I do want to warn my players, this thing probably has some errors that I have made in it for what it's worth. Like we're going to ease our way into this program. It's a lot to look at and it confuses me a bit. But I would say for those of you who open the Google Doc, the Excel sheet, you're paying attention to the first 2 tabs. Building table, which is a list of all of the buildings that exist in town. And the second one is the settlers and jobs table, which is just the people there that work those things. And I've kind of got you a list of who all's doing what. The Foundation greeter bot, I guess he's changing. He's going to probably become some other position. I just had him listed as like a soldier or something. But we've got guards in there. There's a couple extra spots for new settlers that come to town, although I think new buildings will need to be built to kind of welcome them. But we'll get this figured out. We'll fill this in as time goes on. It looks like you can hold 20 settlers total, but currently there's 15 people there. So you have room to recruit some people. And for the sake of it, that's not, I don't think that's going to I don't think a visiting trader is going to count towards that cap. I don't want the management of doing that. That sounds like a lot of paperwork for very little. We'll just count the people that actually live and reside in the town. The people that, in the long run, I think you'd be sad if they left. Some of the names we know, some of the names sort of are placeholders and may change, and then others are probably going to be real people you run into. So we'll say throughout the day. Why don't we say Tom? He's listed as one of the builders. He's going to come by, help you guys out, drop off some things here and there, give some advice on your build, and I'll let you guys, if you want to talk to him or ask any questions in a minute, you're welcome to do so. Marcus Powell comes by, sort of introduces himself, starts building, as well as Sarah Chen. She stops by, does the same. They're kind of grabbing resources for you, bringing them back here and there. I'm going to say, you know what, Sarah and Marcus even, they work with the other Brahmin that's in town. They're going to help you bring that over, or help bring supplies over through that Brahmin. So just something, again, to keep your eyes on, just in case you want to get to know those people at all. But as Tom's coming through, you're working along all day. Night's coming about. It's getting to the evening hours, let's say, and that place is coming together. You got this good-looking structure set up. You got, like you said, Sam, a sort of utilitarian setup, space for the Brahmins to kind of come in and unload supplies. You put the trough together. Right now, sort of an empty trough. They're going to work on getting you some supplies for it over the next 2 days. And this will start a cycle for the settler to, for the trader to start coming through into your camp. Can get a call out to Rusty soon. Maybe that's something even you want to tell Tom to do. But he looks over with you guys as this night's coming to a close, day's coming to a close. He sort of claps you on the back, Sam, and goes, "Oh, that's a hell of a structure you got there. Nice looking. Good to see outside of my window. Some life coming back into this town. Something new."
Oh, it's honestly nice to do a hard day's work instead of, running from ghouls and different creepy crawlies.
Well, I bet. Jim, how you doing over there? Are you a little more lucid after a day's worth of building?
I'd say so. It's starting to come clear now. We got this thing all set up, and man, it's a lot of work, but we got it going.
Oh, good look. I can see you guys are going to install that windmill at the top after all. Huh? You decided on that. That's a smart getup. Especially on a windy day like today. Jim, that your idea to put that up there?
That was.
Oh, I like it. If we can get these water pumps running more often, then maybe more people can come by. Good spot. Good, we're sitting on sort of a gold mine, if you will, with all the resources. Untouched bounty over here, but you gotta first get in there and get the foundation going. This is a good step in the right direction.
I'm hoping so as well. I'm hoping that, if everyone's seeing everyone out here working, helping out the town, that it might bring a little bit of morale up.
Damn good work. And you, Raven, how you handling those tools? Something, I don't know if you had any experience with this, actually. You build anything out there?
Man, I haven't worked this hard in ages. Could use some cram and nuka.
Lucky for you, Terry's got some extra stockpiles in there he's passing around the town. But I'll tell you, folks, after you get rested up, maybe you all wouldn't mind skirting around the outskirts here and checking for some supplies. Hey, Sam, by the way, we got an extra bit of that signal today. It looks like you were right. We have a bit of a location popping up on the map. I think it's near enough by. It looks like it would be in the outskirts of Hope to the north, surprisingly. Sort of an area we don't often go up to. We're focused more here on the southern part of the town, but, something you might want to be interested in exploring.
I'll write that down on my map. We need some extra supplies to finish up this windmill, so maybe we can go check that out while we're out there scavenging.
Not a bad idea. But first, Jim, you need to get some rest, man. You need to get your body functioning again. Don't have enough medics to keep you loopy for days to come. Plus, can't imagine that's good on your building.
Yeah, I should get some more rest. Soon, things will start to wear down, and I'll end up back to forgetting where I am.
let's not have you do that. Okay, well, it's getting dark. I'm going to get ready to turn in, or at least get ready to do night shift of my own. Go make my way over to the cafeteria. Hopefully I'll see you all around here. Don't forget to tidy up your mess before you go. Probably catch Lena and the crew, and I'll be manning the station again tonight. Catch you around.
Sure, sir,
see you
I
later,
could
Tom.
go
You be safe.
hunting for a rad stag or squirrel. You guys need food bad.
Oh. You know, there is something about hunting in here, Raven. I don't know where it is, but there is a hunting rule. Do. Sorry, Sam, you were going to say something too. He's interested, Raven, by the way.
Oh, I was just saying goodbye to Tom.
Oh, you can... I don't know if these rules at the bottom in the daily action tracker are correct or not, but I'm going to run with them. So tomorrow, Raven, because you dedicated your entire day to this, tomorrow you can do specifically a day's worth of hunting. So I guess what we should do, this is my thought, we should conclude this night in game. Jim, you can roll on getting your injuries fixed. You will be rolling, I think it's still the difficulty 3, because you did, it would be a difficulty, no, oh, let me check. Does the one extra injury add to the delay of healing is all I want to know. Because you did a 2 on the recovery scale today. So that would be light. You only did a small amount of similar activities, which is down from the 4 you had on the previous day. I don't remember. I don't think the amount of injuries, the complication range in this test increases for the injury. Nope, just a difficulty 2. Plus, you can additional injury for every 2 AP spent. The difficulty of the test based on the activities you went through. Okay, great. Got it. Good. So tonight, Jim, you will roll your endurance plus survival test. It is a difficulty 2. Jacob or someone on the team can also have considered themselves as to have worked on you and tried to heal you. So I think that means you get an extra bit thrown in there. There is a writing somewhere here about people helping you out with that. Medical attention. A character can provide medical attention for a number of patients for injuries. Okay, yeah, they can assist your endurance plus survival test. Great. Okay. Jim, why don't you go ahead and roll what you want to roll for that? I'm assuming your day is kind of coming to a close regardless. We can do more RP if you guys want to talk to more folks, but just for the rule bookkeeping, why don't you roll your endurance plus survival, Jim? If you want to spend AP, if you've got any, you might want to. This is about healing your injuries, and you got a full pool of AP, so I don't personally see why not.
All right, I'll add an extra.
Okay, so 1 AP out of there for 1 more die. I'll take that out of the pool right now.
Oh, I did too much.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and Well,
I'll re-roll that.
Yeah,
Nah.
yeah. You can re-roll it. 3 total. Oof. Okay. Well, you can spend AP if you want to try to... I'm sorry, not AP. You can spend luck if you want to re-roll those. Otherwise, Jacob, not Tom. Jacob can roll his to try and help you with that as well.
Let's give Jacob a shot.
Oh no, he can't. Technically,
really?
Because to assist you, you have to have 1 success of your own. Sorry.
Oh.
So if you want to spend a luck point and re-roll that, you should have a full table of luck. Otherwise, you can save that luck point and we can roll another day over, but your character will have the same injuries effectively.
Mm.
Meaning your arm is still busted and your leg is still busted. So, yeah, he's going to be pretty out of it.
I'll just let it roll over.
Okay. Anything else people wanted to do tonight? I don't know if you guys wanted to actually go over and chat with people at the cafeteria at all, or if you just wanted to kind of fade to black and say people go to bed and restart. It's completely up to you.
I'm good to clock in for the night.
Yeah, same
All
here.
this hard work's got me tired.
It's been a long day of work. You all go grab some food where you got it. Maybe some of you decide to pop open food that you've got. I don't know if... yeah, I'll say that much. Everyone tonight, again, the food's on the town. They got you taken care of with a bit of supply. So I would say you're welcome to eat something from your own inventory, but, you know, they can get you a canned good to make up for that. Tomorrow, though, we'll flash forward to the morning. I'm assuming you all tucked in for the night over at the dormitory that you've had before. We could get some more of these places set up as well for other people in the town. Tom probably went back to manning the radios for the night. Lena's probably, you know, still working on some sort of project. Who knows? Maybe she's even down at the police station kind of working with the Protectrons there, you know, making sure that they're all good and set up. You know them, they like to wander the streets looking out for people. Hey, shout out to Squid in chat and a PP Jackson 69. Shoot someone with my fat boy. That's the spirit. Hey, a shout out to people if you're listening to this episode recorded or live. We have a YouTube page where we're archiving these now. They're pinned in the top of the Twitch chat. The biggest thing of all, I'd say go over to the Substack. That is the place where we archive the audio and the video episodes of these. TFTfallout.com. Okay, so people are moseying back to where they are. I'm going to throw your characters back into the room here as well, just so we can all see. And I'll zoom in for the folks here. This is our players' long-awaited return to the town. So today is very much like almost a shopping episode of sorts. They're going around getting things set up. We will have an adjustment to the map next time. They've just built a trading post and a part of a windmill, a little off the side of the map here. Just, not that far off the map. Right up in this region, they're building a new building, and they were able to complete the majority of that with a full day's work over there. Unfortunately, as you all wake up today, Jim is not looking any better. His injuries seem just as bad as the day before, which really limits his combat capabilities and even his getting around town. I'll pass it all to you to decide what you'd like to do.
At the dawn, I will go hunting after breakfast time to help feed the people. Also, Jim, you look bad.
So, Raven, if you're going to go out hunting and gathering, I have a couple roles that you can do. And I guess the question is, do you want to take Sam with you today, too? There's also an option to tend crops if you'd like. Very riveting. If you go out, you can do your foraging role and a hunting role.
Sam, you go hunting or crop gathering with me.
If you want me to, I have a question. Could I also potentially build the scavenging station?
Oh, could you stay behind and do it? Yes. However, how long's the build? It was a 1-day build time with 3 people. I sort of made that personal to you guys. So I'd say you could get 1/3 of it done today on your own. And if Jim helps you, I'm actually trying to make this more fun than arduous, just so you guys know. I'm trying to be semi-realistic. I don't want any of this to be punishing. But so the 1 day idea was with 3 of you. If she's going to depart and do her thing, that's great with me. You guys can split the task. I'll say if you do it by yourself, it's going to take 3 days to do. And if you do it with Jim's help, it can take 2 days to do. However, if Jim helps you out the second day in a row with a broken arm and a broken leg, his test is going to go up in difficulty to a 3. So it will go up 1. You guys have, again, a full pull AP. I want to really stress that you guys should really spend that and get healed is my recommendation. Or you'll continue to be handicapped in the sense of not being able to really fight in combat. That's my opinion. You can do what you want, but I'd spend that AP. Some of you might roll things that start burning it off, by the way, because you're at 5 out of 6 right now.
I'll roll with Raven.
You're going with Raven then?
Yes.
I'm just trying to find. CRB. Really? Okay. Sorry, I'm finding you prey. I'm finding food for our team. Maybe Raven and Sam, by the way, while I pull this last little bit up, maybe you guys want to narrate some of what you're doing while you get ready for the day. Is there any supplies you're taking in particular? Where would you like to go? Raven probably knows some of the wildlife in the area. So if you want to confer with her at all, I am going to have you do a perception and survival test because it sounds like you're going out hunting. I do want to emphasize the reality of the situation that if you get a terrible complication on this test, you probably will find something that bites back, if that makes sense. That's just the risk of leaving any shelter and going out there. I'm not trying to TPK anybody, though, for the record. However, you know what you can kill effectively and what you can't. You guys have seen what you can do, and I'm sure you can guesstimate what creatures are in the Appalachian region. So, Raven, why don't you go ahead?
We should try to stay with Hour of Town just to be safe, Sam.
That's not a bad idea. That way we can get back quickly if something happens.
Sounds quite reasonable to me. Okay, do you guys just want to jump straight to that? You're out and on your way, leaving Jim, getting him all situated for the morning. You guys grab some breakfast, not to make you replay the same scenes over and over again. So if you two are ready for it, you guys can go out and on your way.
Yeah, we'll get some breakfast. I'll clean up my combat rifle. I'll use that to hunt some game today. Get all the sights ready. Maybe I'll pick some of the foliage around town and kind of do as Raven does with the kind of the tribal camouflage.
Oh, I like it.
Sugar bombs and check my bow.
Oh, beautiful, Max. Got Raven's eating her sugar bombs in the morning. Let's see. I think as you guys are getting your breakfast today, kind of, this is a small town, things get around. I think you've got Terry who comes by this morning, and in his, morning greetings to you all, he's going to slide you 2 gifts that I'm trying to randomize here. What? Wait, so I think there's a thing I can roll for that. I just want to give you guys something because I think Terry would do that. I think that in a situation like this. I see some things. These are auto rollers for issues of magazines. Ooh, you know what? Shit, that's what he's going to do. Hell yeah. He's going to... Oh my God, he gave you the future. He slid over a copy, The Future of Hunting, ? That sounds great. Maybe it's shit, but that sounds like a great issue. I promise you, it's literally what rolled out of here. It's a robot one. Okay, Future of Hunting. Wait, does it say the issue? guns and bullet issue. Okay, this one's against robots. Whoever wants to put this one in your inventory, maybe it'll still prove useful to you. But this is the future of hunting, and it's +2 combat dice versus robots, and for entire session/scene. Okay, future of hunting. That's the Guns and Bullets magazine. And what else does he toss out?
And that was completely randomly generated, that it was the future of hunting.
Yeah.
That is eerie.
Isn't it? Maybe you guys are going to want that. I don't know. For what it's worth, I didn't contend in my mind with throwing robots at you, but maybe he knows more than I do. Yeah, and he's going to throw 2 magazines at you because I haven't used these. He tosses a copy of Grognak the Barbarian. What sorcery is this? Let me check this issue out for you guys. What sorcery is this? Here we go. I saw it. This is gain +2 energy resistance against 1 attack. So I will put that in chat for you guys again. And this is Grognak. I may have spelled it wrong. I'm sorry. And this is Guns and Bullets. Okay. So he slides these 2 across the table at you and goes, "Hey, I heard you guys are looking for some magazines. Sam, I heard you kind of liked some of this stuff. We got some out of the store the other day. We're doing a little clean picking in these parts, and this towns are kind of, getting thin in this part. But hey, still find things, still work some magic. That's why they call me Terry the Trader, after all."
Oh, I appreciate it, Terry. These are some great issues. There was a lot of long nights in Alaska where we weren't doing a whole bunch, so magazines kept me company.
And they say if you read them, you're smarter. So gotta collect them all. Why not? And
much obliged, buddy. Much obliged.
He grabs his food for the morning and kind of heads out the door back to do the rest of his thing. So you 2 now have a magazine just for the shits and giggles of it.
Oh, Sam, look, hunting book I will read at breakfast. Maybe I will be smart like Jim soon.
Raven, if you want to read that issue, that will apply. I'm just speaking kind of because I don't know the future of this game. That will. When I say that, Chad, I mean I don't pre-plan to the T. We roll by the seat of our pants. That issue, Mac, is going to last through whatever your next combat is, probably up until your next major combat. Meaning, you know what? Assuming I know you guys are going to go gathering things as well, I'm going to let this issue, both of your issues, if you so choose, they'll last kind of what I'm imagining throughout this week or however much time you guys are taking around the town. It says through the end of a scene, which could be a session or could be a multi-session thing. So these are not going to wear off overnight. They're not, so you can apply them if you wish, or you can save them for a later time. Realistically, you probably in game need to spend, I don't know if it says it anywhere, but probably about 30 minutes to read these. You perfectly have that time right now, Raven. I just want to say that you cannot have bullets flying at you from a raider and like duck behind a rock and be like, I'm gonna read this whole magazine. Unless maybe you have some savant perks in there. Maybe that changes it later. There might even be perks that override that. But I'll just say, without consulting the rules, I think there's something in there that does take you maybe 30 minutes to study it. So just so you're aware, apply it if you wish or not, but do let me know.
Okay, I will read it.
Okay. So which one are you reading, by the way, Raven? Which one did you pick?
The hunting one.
The hunting one. Okay. So if that's cool with you, Sam, you get the "What sorcery is this?" of Grognak. And do you want to read that now, or are you going to save that, Sam?
I'll read it. I can be bait.
Perfect. Great. You 2 flip through, reading as you eat. I'm going to say you guys have the time and the energy to get, anything else you want to have prepared now. And so we're not leaving Jim in the dark. Jim, have you decided you're staying in your bedroom there with the limited kind of TV probably on some sort of loop? Maybe you got a little, I don't even know if they have some things that you can plug in there and play. You could also go see, you could see Jacob too. That probably is not a bad idea. Maybe he can even try and do a heal on you in particular today. See if he can get you patched up any further throughout the day. And then I think there's some extra quests I had set to the side, Jim, so that you have something you can add as well while you're in town. Yes, I have a note somewhere. I remember this. It's from the Winter of Adam edition of, they're called settlement tasks. Settlement tasks. Okay, you are an intellect guy. It says science assistant. Stimpax Chem and old world technology are vital to survival in the wasteland. You spend the day assisting a local expert in replenishing their stock or working on one of their totally safe experiments. That is an option, Jim. That is completely on the table. That if you want to go see Jacob today, not only can he try and do some heals on you and get you back on your feet, but also you have the chance to kind of lend some of your intellect and medical knowledge to maybe help him work with some chemicals over there. Maybe you guys can, maybe you could fix up some stim packs that he has that are damaged to no longer, applicable. Some older stash that, they're just sort of holding on to, like, well, we're going to repair this someday, but, who has the time when you're getting eaten by mirelurks? So if you're interested in that. Also, Jim, if you want to get really creative, this is totally on the fringes of my mind. If you and Jacob want to all go and check in on the prisoner today, the person who's in the jail cell, you would be welcome to do that as well. But that, again, is a very fringe one, and we'll see where that goes. I promise nothing on that. It could be safe or unsafe. I have no idea. Do you have any preferences now, Jim, or do you want me to go back to the group and recheck in with you?
Check back in.
Okay. So again, you can go with Jacob, heals and help him, or you can go and, do more with him. Sam and Raven, you two are taking off on your expedition. If there's anything else you want in town, you can go ahead and flag it for me. But Raven wants to stay about an hour within the confines of the town. So I'm flipping over to a tactical map here. Let's get you guys. There we go. Okay, so people at home can see. Woo, go the correct direction. So in my opinion, the City of Hope stretched a bit. It kind of follows the coast, the shoreline there of the river, and it's sort of perfect how this little drawing came together. That you can see that one road that leads into Hope over there. The one, let me move this chat. Okay, so I'm putting it near the C in vault-tec on my Pip-Boy. That you can see that line that goes right up to Hope. That's the one that goes straight into Main Street. This town was and always has been pretty off the beaten path. In fact, in my mind, there's quite a wood line there that separates the town at some point. So when I refer to the northern part of town, that's going to be everything that's snaking up the river, and the south of town's everything that snakes below the river. They've said that, you're mostly in the southern part of town now. The northern part of the town is sort of just unexplored relatively. That means there could be dangers lurking in buildings out there. Some of this is, of course, going to be theater of the mind as we go into this space. But you guys could also travel off to something else nearby. You are welcome to tell me what you want to focus on in particular for your expedition, or you're just primarily looking for game animals, foraging vegetables and fungi. Raven, maybe you could type that out in chat and let us know. And Sam, you're welcome to give advice on this, like where you want to go. I know you guys are not doing like a 12-hour trek to the radio tower, though. I understand that. But maybe you're looking for something on a road stand even, or...
What?
Yeah.
While she's having that, I did have a question.
Please.
Since the map is pulled up, whereabouts might of that call came from that Tom pointed out to me on the map?
Oh, that's a good question because Kyle doesn't know. Ba-ba-ba.
Foraging and hunting or any foodstuffs.
I'll get back to that in just 1 second. Actually, Kyle's checking a map that you guys can't see yet. Somebody built a little bit of this larger map. The call comes from the other side of the Ohio Bridge.
Okay, awesome.
That would be... I want to say for sticking an hour in town, a little bit too far. I think to get to the old bridge, I'm guessing here, so you can quote me in the future or not, maybe 4 hours at a reasonably slow pace. There's a lot of roadway there, so you could take the road. And I do want to let people know, this is for the group here. This is something we're going to talk about probably more next session, but we do have some options when it comes to traveling the roads. There's going to be sort of new ways to detect, or to, I guess, just decide how safe your journey is. There's a hurried pace, which means you make noise, you're kind of clattering, you're in a rush, and you catch a little bit more fatigue from your kind of double timing it approximately. There's a normal pace, which, is just going through any fairly standard terrain. There's a fast pace when you're on roadways just because it's clear and open. And that's sort of what I had bopping in my mind when you guys went to the radio tower, right? Raven had a lot of really good sights over the roads, lots of clear track. And then there's one more in there too, like a slow, like a stealthy one, I think. And the expedition will take longer, but you make less sound and therefore not likely to get in any trouble. Do I have those handy? And someone might have said something there. I'm going to look if I can find those quickly just for the sake of shouting that out.
Raven said that she wants to do foraging, hunting, or any foodstuffs. I'm curious if we can maybe scout out like a little bit of the road ahead of the Ohio Bridge, and that's where we might hunt. Like just to get an idea of where the dangers might be leading up to that road.
Yes. Okay, I love this. I'm 100% on board. I made myself a thing, so time travel calculator. Okay. By the way, what's the lowest person's here? What's your agility? Sam, Raven, what's your agility?
My agility is 8.
8? Get ready to start rolling some dice here, Raven, too.
8.
Perfect. Okay, so the game says you guys travel 4.5 hours, or sorry, 4.5 miles per hour. That is your approximate character speed. You're going to travel about 1 hour away. By the way, this trek, just so you have this for your notes, is going to cost you 1 hunger and 1 thirst. One direction, actually. So we're not going to charge anything for the actual combat here. If you guys decide to go 1 hour out of town and 1 hour back, approximately, it's going to be 2 hunger and 2 thirst, just so you have it for your record. And that's 1 point of fatigue. This is just, again, new system, new tool, and I can give you guys access to this if you want to see this as well. But this is another shout out to Ziggy. Also a shout out that a lot of these maps, not the one on screen, but a lot of the assets here come from Lore, a creator over on Patreon. They post a lot of great stuff, and the maps, all the Fallout stuff that's been really specific to Hope comes from them. Fantastic. I've done the map design, but they've done the assets. Okay, so you have a little bit of an idea. You could hurry, by the way. You would go from 4.5 miles per hour to 9. So it would double your speed. So you could do 30 minutes each way. The only difference is it's going to cost you 2 more points of fatigue. I doubt you guys want to do that, but that's your choice. Oh, normal terrain. Yeah, that's fine.
I think we'll take it easy.
Take it easy. Okay, so 2 hunger, 2 thirst, 1 fatigue. That's for the end of the day. That'll be your end of day calculation. So you're out there going on your way, Raven, probably leading the pack here. I'm going to have you in just a second roll to kind of get an idea of what's around you. But why don't we first just say, for 1 hour's worth of foraging. So as you're making your way there, you're sort of stopping, collecting things on the way. It's going to add a little bit of time to your trek, if that's okay. We'll say maybe it adds an extra half an hour sort of each way. Not that this is a race. You guys have plenty of time in the day. So in the midst of this, Raven's doing some picking, some foraging when she finds things. Why don't you go ahead and roll that perception and survival test for me, Raven? Difficulty of 1. You find items on this table equal to your survival score. And I think I have a tool to roll some foraged goods. Oh, is that something you can even get here? What the frick? Give me something new. Sorry, I think you can't find this one. Out of character, out of game question. Above board. Hubflowers. Where do those grow?
I would assume I the only hub I know is the hub in California, but I'll look it up.
I'm seeing it as a consumable in Fallout 4. So it is to the east coast at least.
There are Soot Flowers in 76.
Are those the equivalent, maybe? Hubflowers in the Commonwealth, a mutated species of flowering plants from before the Great War. Sizable bushes, large hanging. So what I want to do, Raven, is I want to make sure I'm giving you something that is workable, is my number one concern. It looks like Hubflowers are something you can create stuff with. Psycho and
Same
Super
thing,
Chem.
I think they look the same.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good to know. Or maybe I should. Ooh. Let's see. Soot Flower. I'm just checking. Sorry, everybody. They do look very much the same. What are they used for? Can you use them to create something? Where would it tell us the recipes? Oh. Sorry, folks at home. Soot flower recipes. This is where the rubber meets the road. Let's see what the internet says. Infused soot flower tea is something you could make with this. What does it do though? Oh, adds to your AP. Ooh. Okay. We're homebrewing it. If you're okay with that being soot flower, your other option is that you take the hub flower, and we say that that's sort of in the region too. I'm not opposed to invasive species in Appalachia, especially you're up north further than what we're used to in the game anyway. So it's your choice, Raven, whether you want to find Hubflowers, which are a formal thing in the game already, and those have formal recipes attached to them. For example, they make super chems or psycho. The other option is that you gather the soot flowers and we'll homebrew some sort of soot flower tea for you. It'll be a drink and it'll probably give you an AP.
I will take the hub flower.
Okay. So she gets a hub flower equal to your survival score, I think it was. Yep. You get, what's your survival score, Raven? What do we see on there? 6. You get 6 hub flowers. Very easy. You should be able to add it to your inventory. It should be in the game already. Okay. Great. So you're going through, this is on your way to, on your way from, you're gathering that. Why don't we also have you do another survival and perception for your Yeah, okay. You're hunting wildlife now, so we're out here. Oh, I should change some of our music so we're not in the city. We're out in the countryside here. Pardon me, everybody. I'm not good at managing both of those, it seems. So as you're getting further and further out of town, and you said, Sam, you're going to head towards the Ohio Bridge. Is that correct?
Yes.
You don't want to cross it. You just want to go to it, or you want to try and cross it.
I'd like to check it out. Like just, okay. I was trying to figure out. You said whichever one was 4 hours away from us.
Yeah,
One
the
of them is 4
signal.
hours.
The signal
Okay,
itself.
so-
It's on the other
so
side
yes,
of the Ohio Bridge.
I'd like to check out the bridge. Maybe we'll cross it when we get there.
Okay.
Maybe we'll see what it's like up there.
You know, there is the question I'll ask. How do you guys approach the bridge? I'm guessing since it's two of you, rather stealthily. Or are you just walking down the center of it? It's completely up to you.
I would say stealthily because of that exact scene in the Fallout TV series.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. By the way, these are not trick questions. Kyle does not have an enemy planned on the bridge. I really don't. That sounds sarcastic, doesn't it? Like it feels like I'm lying when I say that, but I promise I don't. Okay, so Raven got her stuff there. Yeah, Raven, why don't you do us another survival perception? I do want to check one roll before you do it, though. Just give me this pause. A Mr. Multi-roll tonight. Because I got all this new stuff.
While you're looking that up, I wanted to comment. I don't know if you mentioned this, but I was reading it just now, and Soot Flower and Hubflower are the exact same thing, apparently. It's just naming conventions based on where they are.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's wonderful to know. Raven, you were absolutely correct. Good work on that. I feel bad. The page I'm looking for is not revealing itself to me. I wanted Raven to do... Let's see. Aha. That's why. Okay. There we go. Okay, Raven, so... You are going to roll... By default, navigating requires... They're having you roll an endurance plus survival test. And your difficulty on this is only going to be a 1. Nope, wait, perfect, it's 2. It was 2. Sorry, I had it wrong. You nail it. Sorry, it's not an action point back in your pool. So sorry. I'm just correcting myself on this. So you're going normal speed, the navigation test. A 1 would have worked. So you are on your way. We're going to say that you approach cautiously. You're going down the path here. And as you're coming to the Ohio Bridge, let's have Raven roll a single D20 now. As you begin approaching the bridge, you first notice that it has taken damage. That parts of it, being a rather large bridge, in fact, is probably connecting some of the Appalachian territories to Ohio, much like the Silver Bridge down in Point Pleasant. That this bridge, maybe even in the pre-war, you could see it seemed like maybe it was under construction for expansion. That there were some machines and all of that actually still out there and kind of collapsed into the water now. At a distance, I think you notice that there are some people who are held up on the bridge. They look semi-fortified, but at a distance, you can't really tell what their attire or insignia is. It's not power armor, that's for sure. You guys could go further and investigate, or you could go off more into the wilderness if you'd like. You could try and communicate with these people. The world is your oyster. How do you guys feel?
I'm torn.
Sam, those look like people should talk to them.
You think that we should talk to them? I'm feeling a bit anxious just because there's so few of us here. It's just us two. And we don't know how many people are on the other side.
It's up to you.
You probably see about 2 people from where you are.
I see about 2 people, but you never know if there could be more. But if you want to check it out, I think they could be friendly. Maybe they're from a place, or maybe we can convince them. Maybe we can convince them to come to us, come to Hope. I say let's go for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I was gonna say maybe Raven. Do you want to approach together, or do you maybe want to trail a bit behind so that they don't think that we have more firepower than we do?
We'll hide in the tree line.
Already, I know that you got me if anything goes south.
Okay,
With
Sam.
that, I
Yep.
will depart.
So you're going up the center of the path right up onto the bridge, is that right?
Yes, slowly.
Okay.
And I kind of, as I approach, I kind of yell out, hello. I'm friendly. Are you friendly?
So as you're getting up to the range where you can be heard doing that, Sam, firstly, what you notice in this close proximity is these guys seem to be scavenging as well. They're moving apart like rubble away from like car doors and sort of popping them open, moving aside some like sheet metal that's fallen. And so when you come up and you make this, make that declaration, you do catch their attention. You notice that these people are dressed in black, sort of like robes, kind of rags, you might call them. They're not in nice shape. They're not disgusting dirty, but they're not any kind of clean. This is very tattered wasteland attire. And as one of them pops up with sort of this black cowl type hood over them, yells, "Who goes there? Friend or foe? You say friend.
I'm a friend.
What brings you here?"
My name's Sam Houston. I'm just out here kind of scavenging. Just generally checking some stuff out. I'm out here trying to look for some rat's tag.
Ah, the sacred meat. We understand. Do you need food, sir?
I want to talk about Boar real quick.
Uh-huh.
Mac, are you yelling that at me in real, like in the game, or not? Like, can that be heard aloud? Okay. I didn't know if you knew something more than I. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Sure.
Sir, I'm looking for a little bit of meat. Really, I'm just trying to get some food up for my local town.
Town. We have a local establishment ourselves on the other side of the bridge, if you would be so interested. And I'm not sure if you're getting much closer to them, but as this conversation is going on, they've kind of gotten closer to you in the sense that they're probably still on the bridge, but they're no longer like sort of hunched over scavenging, that they're both stood up and looking your way. One of them has a rifle at the hip, but it's not pointed at you. The other one doesn't seem to have any... they have probably like a tire iron or a crowbar in their hand at best. You notice that on their kind of robe, there is a white infinity symbol sort of painted on the front of it. And yeah, he says, we have our establishment, and we could give you some food if you're starving. We take care of those who seek aid in times of distress.
Not particularly starving, but I would be receptive of a nice meal. I appreciate the hospitality. Let me ask you something. Back in the day, I don't know if y'all were alive before these bombs dropped, but that symbol on your chest, it stood for, I guess the concept of infinity. The idea that that there of everything, of limitlessness. What does that symbol mean to you?
Well, it represents the orb, of course. All who seek knowledge seek out the orb. As you do, I assume?
The orb. You might need to refresh my memory a little bit about the orb. Is the orb at your place?
Indeed it is. As is the Eightfold Speaker. The orb has freed us of our burdens. All of our questions are answered. Ask of the orb, it knows all. That is our way.
Really, that's quite interesting. My my pal is down the road a bit. They're out there hunting. They stopped for a break. I might go back there, talk to them, and see about going to meet this orb.
It is brave of you to make a decision without consulting the orb, but I understand not all are graced by its intelligent design. I myself am only here today because it instructed me so.
It's just, unfortunately, like you said, I don't think that I'm quite as connected to the orb. I haven't really gotten told by the orb what to do yet. Hopefully, maybe you'll be able to teach me that.
It is a certainty. I would be happy. Or maybe ask again later at your request, but we will happily take any in that need it, that want it. But we will not push ourselves upon those who do not seek knowledge. You may consult with your friend. We will be here, gathering what we have, what is available, and what may be.
Oh, well, not pushing your beliefs on other people is more so than what a lot of people did in the pre-war. So that's better. I'll go talk to my pal, and maybe we'll see you again. Thank you.
Indeed.
I say awkwardly as I start to just kind of back away, like really slowly.
He puts his hands out to you in just a kind of a circular gesture, almost like a hand heart, but just a circle like an orb. And he says, consult with your friend. Consult with us when you're done. The outlook for this is good. I have my answer.
I kind of relay the gesture back, but not nearly as spherically or as perfect as he did. And I say, and may the orb be with you as I step away.
He nods, unbothered by your not correct saying.
I'm going to head back to Mac.
Sure.
Raven, I don't know what those guys are drinking over there, but they seem pretty obsessed with this orb thing. It's something that we could check out, or it's something that we could wait on. But they seem pretty friendly. Although, I'm definitely getting some strange vibes from them. I think it's orb singular. I think it's just the orb.
Like a ball.
Oh yes, like a ball.
Weirdos.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe makes me a bit nervous to go down there with just the two of us, though. Maybe it's something that,
Mothman only way.
yeah, I'm more inclined to believe you every day about that. Maybe it's something that we check out when we have the gang back together. Maybe a few of us can stay by and kind of keep watch, because that I don't know if it's going to be good if we get potentially trapped in there alone with no one knowing where we are.
Yeah, don't want to get ball toes at us.
That is true. Who knows how big that orb is. Do you want to go? We can go ahead and go on the search for some game in that case. Maybe see what else is out here.
As Raven types that answer.
Yes, let hunt for that rad stag.
Raven, why don't you go ahead and roll 2 combat dice, and we'll kind of use that as a determination of how many rad stag you find in your first hour of hunting here. Okay, 2. Great roll. Great roll. So as you're going through, you're not new to hunting. This is a pretty common ordeal for you. Rad stags also have pretty low HP. With a this is me kind of just for the time's sake and narrative driven. I will say, why don't you both roll a medium damage weapon just to see how much damage you two generate? And my kind of narrative approach to this, unless you guys want to flavor it differently, is that with Raven's, stealth expertise out there, 2, 4, 6 damage, okay? And Raven, what do you do? With a medium range weapons, that could be your bow, for example. I think we need to get some upgrades to your bow, too, by the way. If you want that to stay competitive, I think it's time to start augmenting that in the next session or so. Paul, that was really funny. Paul in chat says, have a spherical day.
Damn, I should have thought of that.
Another 4 damage. With that, you guys take down easily the 2 rad stags that you were hunting. Maybe even in quick succession. I don't know if you guys had it planned out where you kind of like let it fly at the same time, that she sends her bolt at the same time. Or maybe even a second after, Sam pulls the trigger on the louder weapon there. Because hers is a stealth suppressed weapon. 2 rad stags down. You are able to go over Raven, and at difficulty 0, you're going to be able to loot these things with an endurance plus survival. While you get ready for that, though, I'm going to pop back to Jim. Jim, you're still here and alive, right?
Yes.
Sorry if I left you too long, my friend. While Raven does that, there's the scavenging details I put in for her. So why don't you and she can take care of doing that test. It's nothing new. It's something she does all the time. Raven, go ahead and roll those. I think it said 2 dice for that. So, Jim, we're going to get you set up with Jacob, that you went over there and let's see, he's able to help you. We learned that today in our settlement mechanic here, that with whatever his station is, he can actually do an extra heal per day. Okay, it said, the vendor performs the first aid action using a diluted stim pack for a first aid station, a stim pack for a clinic. Okay. Jim, I don't know. Do you have 60 caps at all?
I do actually, yeah.
So that I'm not trying to push you that route. That's what he would usually charge for that. So I feel if you pay, he will kind of full on treat your wounds. So that is an option for 60, that will just take care of your injuries that you've got. You're welcome, of course, also just to wait the entire day, in which case he is able to assist you later. And the difficulty of your test should be 1, since you're not doing anything strenuous at all today. So just the option that he could heal you. Also, if you're interested in doing any of those other kind of explorations and mechanics, we can talk about that too.
Okay. I don't think I want to pay the 60 caps.
Okay.
Because that eats into my whole balance. I would only have like 30 or so left.
Sure. Do you want to try doing any of the assisting Jacob, by the way? He had offered and may still offer if you want to help him kind of refill and fix up some stim packs in there. That's not going to tax you physically for today. It won't make your difficulty go up. So you're welcome to help him if you'd like, and he may give you some as a reward too.
Sure.
Why don't you go ahead and roll just a difficulty 1. Yeah. We'll do a scaled option here in succession. So I think this will go with your repair and intelligence skill. You could also use your medicine too. Medicine and int is fine as well. You can choose. But he'll give you 3 scaled tests. If you succeed them, he'll give you supplies in accordance to it. So difficulty 1, difficulty 2, difficulty 3. Any of them that you pass, the highest level is what you get. So if you want to start off just a difficulty 1, repair and int or medicine and int, roll it on up.
Okay.
Excellent. Cleared that. Maybe you could also flavor this a little bit for us too, Jim. What sort of stuff are you choosing to work on in Jacob's shop? It doesn't have to be stim packs either. If you wanted to kind of tinker with other bits and bobs, maybe he spends his day in bed, working on something else too.
No, the stim packs is just what I'm doing.
Excellent. Fixing some busted bits and bobs there. They have some weird dangly bits on stim packs. If you look at them close up, they're sort of weird. Go ahead and roll us another version of that test. This is the difficulty 2. If you want to spend AP to get some supplies, you absolutely can. Sort of how this trade-off is working. You guys got a big pull. Ooh, actually, now, Jim, you might as well spend some on this next because your pull is now maxed at, that was perfect. You got 1 extra. You're 6 out of 6. So you're getting 2 things, and then the third test is coming around for you. This will be a difficulty 3. So if you want to add 1 or 2 dice, you might as well.
I'll do 2.
Okay. You're adding. Go for it. I'll take you out of the thing here. Oh, wonderful.
Wow.
Damn. Back to 5 out of 6 on there with that crit. So the way this works, you filling and reworking and messing with these things, you, Jim, at the end of the day, Jacob comes by and says, "Oh, here's hoping a good day of rest will get you back on your feet, Jim. But you did a hell of a job here with everything you fixed up today. We got some great stim packs back. You fixed up a couple super stim packs, so please take this one on the house. And here's 2 more stim packs that you could maybe share with your buddies as well, something like that. But you deserve it for today. That's a hell of a good fix." 2 regulars and 1 super stim pack for just sitting around in bed all day. Not a bad haul.
Okay. Let's see.
Not a bad haul. And then while we're on you, Jim, we'll go ahead and roll your endurance and survival. Oh God, there's so many rolls and so little brain cells in my head. Yeah, endurance and survival.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's only a difficulty 1 because you were very restful today.
Okay.
Oh, Jim!
No. No.
You could spend
No.
luck if you want and re-roll it. Yeah, he can't help because you can't help yourself.
No. We're just gonna roll with it.
Fair enough. It makes narrative sense. You're pretty beat up. You are broken arm, broken leg. So, as best you could, working from bed today. Hey, but still, you got a nice haul out of all of it, too. Okay, back to our friends as Jim's recovering and getting his bounty. So Raven says, 8 meat and 2 hides. Where did you get the hides and stuff from, Raven? You get 2 rad stag meat, two combat dice worth of rad stag meat. Where did you pull those hides from, out of curiosity?
At the end of that message, it says if an effect is rolled, also yields a rad stag hide.
Thank you. That's why I asked. I didn't think Mac made this up. I was checking my notes. I was like, where the hell is this? Where did you roll those things to? Did I see no, that's her bow attack. Did you roll the dice? Did you roll the combat dice? Maybe that's what I was looking for. Oh, maybe it didn't come through there. It says DC instead. Sorry, where are they, Raven? I see combat dice from your bow. It's not that I doubt you. I just like to double check everything so I'm learning. I see Jim. I don't see combat dice. It is a problem in that it doesn't... the notes I gave you, it translates that emoji into DC, which is incorrect. So that's a fault of the system. I apologize. What it's telling you to do is, for each of those that you killed, you need to, if you haven't done so, you need to roll 4 combat dice. Yeah, yes, and repeat that, please. Do that again. Exactly that, one more time. This is you skinning those. So, for each... So, you brought back 4 rad stag meat, is what you got from those 2. Sorry about the hide. Not a part of that roll, at least. But you did it. That was great. That's exactly what we needed. And, well, wait a second. You roll the endurance and survival tests? Sorry, Raven. You did up above. Maybe that's the one she did right before Jim. I guess you get all 4 meat, you get 1 action point back. That's what's the math. There we go. I was trying to... It was a 0 difficulty test. Raven rolled 1 success earlier on her survival and endurance. And so you get the 4 meat, and you get 1 AP. I think that might max your AP pool out too. Or it's already maxed, so.
No, that I added.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. We are down to the last 8 minutes for tonight. What is the last bit of the plan? Are you two going to return home with your haul of soot flower, meat, and knowledge of the orb? Or do you wish to stay out here on the road tonight and pick up here next time? I'm plenty thrilled if you guys want to decide to go back home. It's technically, I guess at the end of the session, night will fall one way or the other. So
We should head home, Sam.
I agree.
I think that's good.
Do you have any snacks for us? I have some water that we can drink. I mean, I guess I have some brain fungus I could eat. But we got to eat and drink something before we head back.
Is it going to affect you guys from going back? You're taking only 1 hunger and 1 thirst.
Oh, I guess I thought you had said something about like it taking 1 and 1 to get there. So I thought you were saying that we need to drink 1 to get back.
It is costing you 1 each way. Does it hurt you to do it once you get back to town? I guess that's my question, because I don't know. I need to look at character sheets for a second. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I don't know exactly. Like I would be fine with doing it when we get back in town. I just don't know if it actually.
I
does
have
anything
rad
wrong.
stag stew and bean soup we could eat.
Because what this is going to do, this is a great time to explain this briefly. As we begin to wrap up for the night, everybody, this is a good time to kind of do our last little bit of rule checking here, just for a second. So, good question, Sam. To get to the bridge, 1 hunger, 1 thirst, and you get 1... We'll say 1 fatigue at the very end of this encounter. This, when you get back to town, you'll be considered fatigued by 1 level. So if you want to note that in your chart, what happens when you drop down a level on your hunger? Is that anything consequential? Is what I guess I want to see here.
And I guess I also forgot that it's like kind of like a 1, 2, 3 system, right? Like we have 3 hunger or something like that.
It is something like that. I don't have it in front of me, which is I'm trying to pull that up. I apologize.
So, I guess I shouldn't worry too much. I forgot that it wasn't just like a binary thing, like you're either starved or you're not.
Correct. You are correct. Maybe it's under healing. Let's see. I think it is under healing. I think it's on this page that we're always on, and I never... food and drink. While proper nutrition isn't common in the wasteland, a decent snack, hearty meal, refreshing beverage, a vital part. You recover... That's not the stats of it, though. You guys have a quicker way to see it when you select what you got. Could you tell me... maybe I can even go to your character editor just for a second. Not that I'm going to save this, but I just want to see. So quenched, you would have gone down to hydrated. You drank recently, but still could drink more. After 2 hours of being sated, you become thirsty. Well, that's a typo on their part, isn't it? Because that's talking about food. Yep, that's a typo on their part. That's interesting. I caught that. So after 2 hours of being hydrated, how long is quenched? After an hour of being quenched, you become hydrated. I think the math that I would do for this, Sam, Sky, to keep it simple, is when you get back to town, you would count as thirsty with 1 fatigue, and your hunger, you would be peckish, is my understanding of this for simplicity's sake, plus 1 fatigue. I'm going to send you a picture.
I'm tracking with this now because there's like that drop down menu. Honestly, I have never actually looked at this page very much.
No, totally. I get that. I'm kind of ignoring like the like there's time associated with it, but I'm simply using this tracker and like averaging it in the middle. That the tracker was like, well, you're going to go in that direction. It's going to be, you're going to collect. I actually think I might be hitting this a little bit harder than it should be. Like, I think I may need to work on my use of this travel time calculator. Because if there's anything, it's me hitting you a little bit too much with it. But you're going to go back and get some free food and drink anyway. So with that being said, just for our own, like, mentally getting prepared for it, you'd return home peckish, thirsty, with 1 point of fatigue. And in the next session... we'll go over fatigue a little bit more because that's a little bit of a newer system, and I don't know how much we'll end up using it. I don't want any of this to be miserable or, kind of like aggressive in any way. That's not at all the goal. And I don't know that I have fatigue so well uploaded in here. A lot of notes, a lot of things. But I had a hell of a time in tonight's session. I really had a good time with this. And I'm really excited that you found the people of the orb over there. That's really cool. So as you're coming back into town, night is falling. There's a bit of rain clouds coming over the horizon. And in fact, as you get back into Hope, you get the same kind of murky, kind of dreary vibe with it. There's a lot of... it's what you've come to know from Hope. It's almost a little bit of its charm is that for as often as Hope is pretty and nice in this Appalachian countryside. It also has its days of, great rain. And that's what you're experiencing here and now. As you pull back into town, you two kind of wave at the guards as you go on through. And is there anything outstanding that either of you two, or Jim even, is there anything, I'll start with Sam and Raven though. Is there anything outstanding that you two want to do here in our last couple minutes of time?
I don't.
Okay.
I will just quickly tell Tom to make sure that old Rusty gets a message that trading post is done.
He says back to you, yeah, Sam, hey, I actually, if you want to get on the phone with Rusty, we give him a ring tomorrow. Today I was a little too caught up with chatter, but yeah, we will definitely. I tried to send out a message to him earlier. Maybe we'll check in. He catches you outside of the robot place and says, well, we'll touch base with Alfred next time. See if tomorrow he can chat with us. Maybe he heard back from Rusty already.
Alrighty, awesome.
With that being said, your timer will have already started for that. Tom's just basically saying he sent Rusty he sent a communication. Doesn't know if he got it or not, but Alfred's over there and he can rebroadcast things like that. Anything else, Wastelanders?
I think I will tuck myself into bed.
Very good. Very good. Can I maybe leave myself? Yeah, Raven, go ahead.
Bed is calling me.
Okay. Well, everybody, that brings us to a nice conclusion of tonight's episode of Tales from Tomorrow. This was a really great experience for me. I really enjoyed it. We added a lot of new rules tonight, and I hope none of that felt confusing or overly, complicated for people. That's the whole point of this long tutorial and play style here is for everyone to have fun. And I have a hell of a time with these great encounters. I really like that you guys are making me make things up on the fly, which is good. I personally really enjoy that. So the spontaneity is always welcome because I would rather. I'm absolutely the GM. They would rather you surprise me with a plan. I will never be offended by you going against the grain, so to speak. Some GMs out there, dungeon masters and the rest, they have a novel written and they don't really even want people to play their game. They just want actors to act out their fantasy. And that is not this game at all for me. I love the Fallout universe, and I'm just glad to have great comrades who are having as much fun partaking in it as I am. This world is theirs to edit. I don't care what they do with any of the towns personally. I mean, you guys could level a town and build an emerald city on top of it if you want. You can do whatever your heart desires, open up trade companies, join the Enclave, join whatever, or you can do whatever your mind tells you. So this has just absolutely been a blast. Let's go ahead and wrap it up for the night. Say our goodbyes to the chat and tell everyone you can go subscribe over on YouTube. Please do. If you're watching on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Get us that engagement, please. If you're listening to this on a podcast player like Spotify, iTunes, or the others, give it a thumbs up on those. Give a 5-star rating. Give it a comment. All of that helps. Share it with friends. Word of mouth is still the most powerful thing in the world for getting people engaged with this content. And for as tough as the world is outside, I can tell a lot of people are looking for an escape. And this is a nice 3.5 hours of escape every Sunday. You can go catch it again on all these, archive syndicated sites and go catch up. I love watching people's D&D games and backgrounds and stuff. I consume a hell of a lot of it. So yeah, it's my comfort food, and I hope this can serve other people as comfort food. So big thank you to Sky, to DK, and to Mac Raven for joining us tonight. I really appreciate your time. And to everyone at home, I hope you stay super, super safe out there. We're going to roll the intro as we go out the door here. Good night, goodbye, good luck. Okay, gang, that's the end of it.